Electric Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello. Welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show, everybody. Ben Bosscher here with you as always. Kyle Sandel behind the glass today. Very fun show planned out for everybody. Jeremy Reisman is going to join us in the 11 o'clock hour. He got to talk to Drew Petzing. I don't know how Pride of Detroit pulled that off, but they got to talk to Drew Petzing before Drew Petzing even had an introductory press conference. So we are going to talk to Jeremy Reisman about that at 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. We're going to fix the All-Star game, All-Star weekend at least. Right now, I do want to start with a notification I got last night that just I just started cracking up. I started laughing. Trinidad Chambliss back in college football for next season, at least for right now, with a judge that essentially blocks the NCAA from blocking him from playing a 6th year. So he's going to be back playing for the 6th season for college for him. He's going to be 24 by the time the season starts. Look, man, from a fan standpoint, from an entertainment standpoint, it's probably a good thing he's back. And then you have the whole Michigan standpoint as well. This kid's from Grand Rapids, from Forest Hills. It's a good story. He's an entertaining player. Is he going to be one of the favorites to win the Heisman? Yes, you could argue it's just good for the sport, fun player. But I understand all that, and if that's where you want to just stop the conversation, so be it. We'll continue it right here. This is mind-boggling to me because after the NCAA has told him no on 2 different occasions on playing a 6th year, he finds a judge that graduated law school from Ole Miss to say, nah, we don't think the NCAA is looking at this fairly. You're allowed to play college football. What is this? This would be like, so this is the equivalent of a janitor giving you a set of key, like every single key in the building, the old school keychains. It's like 3 inches wide as a radius or a circumference. I don't remember the math terms. And you've got like 40 keys on a keychain, and you just keep trying it until it works. One of these keys has to work, and eventually you just get in. That's the equivalent of what the NCAA is in 2026. They're a door. There's a key. One of them has to fit in here, and then we can walk all over them. They've got no power anymore, Kyle. They've got nothing. If Trinidad Chambliss ends up playing this season, which by all accounts he will play his 6th year of college football, then I really don't understand what purpose the NCAA serves if anyone can walk right over them, because that's what this feels like right now. They deny him, and then their denial gets denied. What are we doing? I know we can do this bit over and over and over again of the NCAA having no power, but this feels like one of the final straws of some judge who went to Ole Miss, who does his job in the state of Mississippi, is essentially being like, we don't think the NCAA saw this fairly. He had a respiratory issue back in 2021 or 2022. I don't remember the exact date. And it's like, let's just screw it. He can play. Why not? I can't believe this.
Yeah, he got his tonsils out when he was a freshman, so he deserves to play another year. You know, like that's basically what this comes down to. Look, like you said, we have to start with saying, like, it is cool from a local perspective that Trinidad Chambliss is getting another year. But, like, we do have to zoom out a little bit. Like, what if Trinidad Chambliss was from Georgia? You know, like, it just, like, we didn't have any sort of connection to him. Like, then it would be, we would be upset about this, you know? So
I think that's where I'm at anyway, to be honest.
Sure, and I think that's probably fair at this point. But, yeah, I mean, it's like we've been seeing the NCAA get walked all over in the basketball side of things lately. You know, when essentially we figured out that anybody is eligible to play in college basketball. You know, like it doesn't matter who you are. You could probably go back and at least try. You have a chance to try.
LeBron James he still has his eligibility.
LeBron
I bet you if
James
he wanted to, he could play for the SEC right now.
He could play for any school he wanted to right now, technically. Yeah, a lot of these guys could. And we're soon to find out if these NBA guys who have played time in the NBA can come back to college. But once again, the Charles Bediako situation at Alabama, all decided in court. It's not just decided by the NCAA. The NCAA just has to sit there and hope. Like, man, I really hope we don't get a corrupt judge on this case.
Yeah, so not only does the NCAA not have as much power as the Big Ten or SEC or, like, Michigan, Ohio State, like some of these big-time schools that represent those conferences, now they don't even have power over themselves because anyone can just be like, hey, judge, we don't think that was fair. And then the judge, all they have to do is find one guy in this entire country. It's like, I agree with you.
Yeah. It reminds
You're right. You're totally right.
I like the keychain thing. It also reminds me of any time like a guy gets hurt and then he's like a concussion or something, and it's like he can't play. Like this doctor says he can't play. It's like, okay, let me go to the other doctor down the street. Nah, he still can't play. It's like, okay, let me call up this specialist. Wait, I can play now because this guy said I'm good. You know,
Yeah.
and then you're fine. Like it's all that kind of stuff. So nonetheless, it's this situation it's just gotten out of hand. Like why? You know, what's the point of all this? The NCAA just has no control over anything. It's obviously the biggest joke of an organization we have in sports. And
good for Trinidad for fighting it because what else is he supposed to do? There's been a proven track record that you can walk all over the NCAA. So I don't really blame him for trying to do that. But at some point, we got to look at these college kids and be like, hey, man, life's not fair. You got your 5 years in college. Move on. Like, not every single one of you can just sit here, pound your fist, and say, well, I want to keep playing college football, and then you get to do it. Like, that's not how real life works. So we, like, I don't know, man. I'm at a loss for words as to how powerless the NCAA is in this situation. I get it. It's cool you want to come back. You want to improve your draft stock. Tough luck, man. Tough luck. You played your 5 years. Not everyone should just be granted a 6th year just because. And that's exactly what this feels like with the Trinidad situation, that he was just granted a 6th year just because.
And it sounded like he, technically, if he would have stayed at the Division II level, he would have had an extra year. Like, that's why he was able to fight this, because he would have had an extra year at D2, so why doesn't he at D1? Sure, like you said, he's able to fight it, so I don't blame him, because that's how the rule is set up. Like, at the end of the day, this is all on the NCAA for not having something set in stone for, hey, you guys are student athletes. When you're done being a student, you're done being an athlete.
Yeah, meanwhile, Carson Beck is like, I haven't been to class in 2 years. What? You're the quarterback of the team that's playing for a national championship. What
I haven't taken a single
about?
credit in years. But what? But you're playing college football? Like, and I know the term student athlete has become like a joke at this point. They're obviously
the term college football has become a joke at this point.
I mean,
it's just a different league.
Yeah, I mean, college athletics. Like, I thought it was all a college football thing until what we've seen in basketball this year, and then it's like, oh my goodness, basketball might be the bigger joke. Like, so at the end of the day, like the NCAA just continues to just be a mess, and there isn't like a. I know later in the show we're gonna do the here's how you fix the All-Star Weekend. There is no here's how you fix the NCAA.
Oh, it's gone at this point.
It's
past the point of return.
And there isn't just one single thing you can do to fix it. There's so many things that need to be addressed, and obviously none of those are going to happen.
989-837-6125. We'll have the Mitt messages open. You can chime in on that. I also want to get into a more, like, this is all. I just wanted to open up with that. We don't have to go in any further.
Can I give one funny YouTube comment from Gary, though?
For sure.
Gary says, I'm 55 years old, but I think I have 1 year of high school eligibility yet. I'm going to throw it into the court system and see what happens.
I think there needs to be a hard cutoff with age. Like, once you turn 25, there's no circumstance. There's zero circumstance where you're allowed to play college athletics. You're a grown
Doesn't that
man.
seem late? Like 25?
Yes. You're a grown-ass man.
Go
get a job.
Yeah, that's 7 years post-high school. Like, that seems – but then you got Chad Baker-Mazara on USC. Their best player is 26 years old. Like,
oh, my God. 24 is even pushing it, and that's how old Trinidad is going to be to start out next season. But 25 is, like, to me, What college student is 25? I've been out of college for 2 years, and I'm not 25. I don't understand why people even have the desire to stick with their sport.
Be like Ben Bosscher.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Go get a job is what I'm saying. Go get a job, brothers. Come on. This is ludicrous. 989-837-6125. Hey, Detroit Lions, I want to talk about them when we come back. We'll talk to Jeremy Reisman, like I said, at 11 o'clock. He got to talk to Drew Petzing, so we're going to talk to Jeremy about that. But when we come back, look, man, right when the season ended, I told you guys I feel as if the Lions window is still completely open. And every day that has gone by since then, I have feared that it's maybe a little bit more closed than we have realized. I don't believe in windows. They're theoretical. You can get yourself out of this mess this off season, and you can walk into next year as a rejuvenated team. No, that's not a word. You know what I mean.
Rejuvenated?
Rejuvenated. There we go. There we go, Kyle. You can walk into next year as a rejuvenated team. However, there's like a ton of work that needs to be done. So is this window open or is it closed? That's when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9. The Mitt 9 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Iron Stack Technologies. They help businesses solve real tech problems securely, efficiently, and without the headaches. When your IT is working the way it should, everything else gets easier. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can find them online at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back in. Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Let's go to a couple Mitt messages, then we'll get to the Detroit Lions. Texter says, I think once a college player starts getting paid, they are employees and should be able to play their whole career in college. So, like, forever? Is that what this is implying? They can just play in college forever?
I haven't seen this take.
We got to stop calling it college sports if that's the case.
I mean, that's just not college.
This is just pro sports at a lesser degree.
Yeah, I mean, it already is. So, like, I kind of understand where this text is coming from, but that seems a bit extreme.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just something off-putting about this entire Trinidad situation. And again, like, you can't blame the kid. It's exciting he's coming back from you're right, not a kid. About to be 24 this summer. You can't blame him for fighting the NCAA on this. However, it's like the NCAA has proven that you can just walk all over them, and if they say no, you can just go find someone else who doesn't think what they did is right. Just here's the new strategy if you get told no by the NCAA. Go find not a lawyer, but a judge who graduated from the school you attend and get them to agree with you.
That's worked twice this year in both football and basketball. But like you're saying, and we got a YouTube chat about it as well, like Trinidad's going to make a lot more money going back to college football for a sixth year than he would doing anything else.
Yeah, so why would he be like a third or fourth round pick at best?
So of course he's going to fight for it, you know? Like of course he's going to try to get that extra year.
You can't you got to hate the system, not the player.
Absolutely.
It's like
don't hate the player, hate the game, you know?
That's what they say. The Detroit Lions window opening, closing. I told you guys I don't believe in windows right when the season ended. As we get further and further removed from the season and we watch the Super Bowl play out, I'm not going to lie, I don't think there's a window closing yet, Kyle, but there's a lot more this offseason that I think has now become apparent than I did right when the season ended. Because when the season ended, it was fix the offensive line and everything was going to be back to normal. Now it's, hey, fix the offensive line. Do we have the right play caller? What's going on with Kirby Joseph? Is Alee McNeil going to return to form? Whose contracts are getting extended? There's a lot of questions. Who's playing center? Who's playing left tackle? Is Taylor Decker going to retire? What's going on across from Aiden Hutchinson? Who's playing linebacker? Is Alex Anzalone going to be back? Are these corners any good? Is Terrion Arnold a playable? I don't think it's closing necessarily, but it's not like it's as open as it's ever been. It's like half closed. And you can look at that, half glass full and say, hey, there's still a window that's semi-open. It's certainly not as open as it was 2 years ago, though.
Right. I think that seeing Seattle win the Super Bowl and the way that it was done with them and how they've just done a really good job managing the cap, and Sam Darnold is on this really good deal and he's kind of worked out as an awesome, like one of the better contracts in football right now. It definitely makes you, from a cap perspective, feel like maybe the Lions aren't set up as good as we initially thought. I mean, last year was the year that we labeled as like not the last year that they had to win the Super Bowl, but it's going to get a hell of a lot harder going forward because all of the contracts are going to finally start kicking in. And so now that you have Goff making that number in the cap that, Brad loves to bring up all the time, but it is a fact in the NFL. You can't make over that X number.
Yes, but I will say the Lions, the Goff contract specifically can be reworked in a way where he is barely hitting the salary cap at all this year. Now that starts to create a window in the future. You know, because
then you have to pay him eventually. Yeah, exactly.
You got to turn it into void years, and you're paying guys who aren't even on the team anymore, and it counts against the cap. You can do a lot to continue to keep your window open, but for every time you pull it a little bit more open, on the back end of things, like
just flash us?
No, on 2030, it really starts to hurt you there. Like Philly, for example, Philly can't rework any of their contracts at all this offseason. There's a chart going around right now where it's talking about how much salary cap space you can create just based on negotiations. The Lions, like contract restructures. The Lions are sitting here with the second most amount of flexibility in the cap in the NFL this season, whereas Philly's all the way down all they can do is create $200,000 for themselves, which is like what? Like the Jets are 31st with $29 million. So Philly's put themselves in a situation where they can't really do the restructure stuff. The Lions can restructure enough contracts and free up $128 million in cap space this year. Now, they're not going to do all $128 million because, again, that'll screw them in 2030, 2031. But they can give themselves way more room to work with this free agency run than we initially thought. And to your point about the Goff contract, it's starting to get more expensive. Not necessarily.
Sure, but I think a lot of the teams that have these quarterbacks on those type of deals where they're not in the elite tier of quarterbacks, but also they're being paid pretty highly amongst their peers in the NFL. I think Goff, of course, fits in that category. A lot of those teams also don't have like a ton of players that still need to get paid. You know, like the Lions I feel like are in a pretty unique spot where they've drafted so well that you don't want to say it's hurt them because drafting good players is never going to hurt you. But obviously they have to pay those guys. And so we're going to see some of those guys get extensions this offseason. ESPN had an article a couple weeks ago that had them predicting that the Lions will pay all of them this offseason, which would be pretty crazy.
Wouldn't be shocking, though. They do it every year.
Yeah, you're right.
Nobody's not gotten paid yet.
Right, but you feel like at some point somebody won't. Obviously, it hasn't happened yet, though, so you kind of just have to keep believing that they will find a way to pay everyone. But on top of that, they also need to add a center. Like they will add an O-lineman in free agency, right? Like it'd be shocking if they didn't. And so you have to add the fact that they are paying all their guys and that they need to actually sign someone in free agency. There's going to be a lot of wiggling around from Brad Holmes and the rest of that cap group this offseason.
I think the safety thing for me has become like a major concern. And I know I've expressed this before, but this is no longer just like we've got Kirby and his knee and we've got Brian Branch and they'll be back eventually. Like no need to worry. Like no, I think there is kind of a reason to be a little bit panicked about that situation. I don't know what's going on with Kirby Joseph. Nobody does. And the further and further we get away from the season, it's like, okay, so if Joseph can never return to form, that contract suddenly looks like one of the scarier ones on the team. That and the McNeil one. There's potentially two contracts on the Lions defense alone that just look a little right now, you know? And you hope McNeil can return to form because last year he returned from the ACL injury, a month sooner than we initially thought. He just never looked the same. He looked awesome in his debut, and then he never really looked like that again throughout the season. And there's a reason they've kind of ignored that spot across from Aiden Hutchinson is because they think Alll McNeil is their second Pro Bowl defensive tackle. I mean, if he's playing like he was last season, we've got two major salary cap issues on defense with Kirby Joseph and Alll McNeil. I've got a lot more confidence Alll McNeil can return to the old form of himself than I do with Kirby Joseph right now.
Really? You do?
Oh, yeah.
And that's just a Kirby thing, or like you actually do have confidence Alll can get back?
It's more so just a Kirby thing. I mean, no one has told us what's going on with his knee. We've been left in the dark about this since training camp of what the diagnosis is on his knee. That can't be good.
I have a feeling you're going to ask Jeremy about this later.
About Kirby Joseph's knee? I'm not going to ask.
I don't think anyone has talked about Kirby Joseph more this offseason than you.
That can't be true. I mean, maybe.
Who else
this
has?
Offseason?
I mean,
potentially. I guess I'm just not buying into, he'll be back and healthy. Until I see that, I don't believe it. And I think that's completely fair based on, 8 months of being left in the dark about what the diagnosis is on his knee. That's weird. When does this ever happen that they don't tell us?
Sure,
we know what happened with Sam Laporta, disc in his back. What happened with Kirby Joseph? He's just kind of working through a knee thing. Like, it's just like a lingering
I agree
thing.
that it's
That's
sketchy.
Creepy.
I agree that it's sketchy, but you definitely are like thinking about the all-time extreme worst case scenario.
You're right.
Like,
I am.
But how often is a guy how old's Kirby Joseph? 25, 26? How often does a guy like that just his career's over? Like off of a not like at the moment injury.
I don't think his career is over. I don't know if he'll ever be the same player. And should I do the thing where I compare my knee to Kirby Joseph's knee? Okay, I'll skip that for today. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We are going to hit the news and get to some of your texts about the Lions window opening or closing. when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, again, live on 100.9 The Mitt. As always, brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the people you got to protect your home with, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, the siding looking a little tired on your house, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Do call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back into the show, everybody. Ben Bosscher here with you, as always. Kyle Sandel, give us what's going on in the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
Yep, let's hop into the news. You already stole the big news, which is the Trinidad Chambliss stuff.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
It was lead-worthy,
no,
though.
It was lead-worthy. That's I agree with you, man.
You and I got the notification. You texted immediately, and within, 10 minutes, I showed up at the gym. I was like, did you see this? I didn't even realize you had texted.
It was so funny, yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. This morning from 9 to 11, so you still got about, you still got about an hour and a half. The Max Loves Midland Navigation Team Meeting. It's a group that meets quarterly to receive updates on progress on topics in Midland to make Midland a place where everyone thrives. And we love the people over at Max Loves Midland, so you can go check that out. Hey, last night, LeBron James, oldest player in NBA history to get a triple-double. Pretty cool, man.
And he hit 2 threes.
Which was the lock of the day, yeah.
I didn't catch any of this game. I know Luka didn't play in this one, but my theory for the lock of the day for the 2 threes was just, hey, one game before the break, he's going to go balls to the walls and give it his best, and then he knows he gets a couple days off, and that's probably exactly what happened. Again, I haven't seen any of the highlights back in this one, but I did wake up to the notification that Pookie Bear LeBron James has, in fact, recorded the triple-double. Who was the oldest?
Well, how is it not just him?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, did he just break it to make it even like an older version of himself? Like, did Vince Carter ever steal a triple-double? I'm going to find this really quick because now I'm very interested because there's no... Oh, never mind. I just found out who it was.
I see who it is.
Yeah. It was he who shall not be named. Yes.
The one who has a
Carmelo,
statue outside of the Utah Jazz's arena.
Hey,
that I don't know the name
speaking of the Utah Jazz, let's talk about them because the NBA fined them $500,000. They also fined the Pacers $100,000 in their tanking fest. I don't even know what we want to call this. Tank Gate.
Tankathon.
It's just been an all-time high so far in the NBA this season. The Jazz get fined specifically $500,000, a much higher price than the Pacers because multiple times, back-to-back games, they benched their entire starting lineup in the fourth quarter for the whole fourth quarter when they were winning in the game, and they obviously didn't have like a valid reason to do so. Man, what a just slap on the wrist here from the NBA. Oh man, $500,000 to Ryan Smith and the Utah Jazz. Are you kidding me?
$500,000. I mean, the Utah Jazz or any team in the NBA would pay 3 times that to get a top 3 pick in this year's lottery. The ironic part is the Jazz do have 18 wins. They won that game where they benched those guys. They won another game this week against the Kings. They have the 6th worst record in the NBA. Like, they're not catching up to Sacramento or Washington. So they can keep trying to tank. They're not going to finish with one of their worst records. They just got to cross their fingers, hope they win this lottery. But they got to fix the lottery. I don't like the lottery system anymore. I'd actually be down for the 10 teams that don't make the play-in or the playoffs. Just
Same
you all
odds.
have even odds.
Yeah.
It's just random.
Well, I mean, that's not getting rid of the lottery. That's making it even more. Like, that's enhancing the lottery, essentially.
Sure, but it also prevents teams from desperately trying to be the worst team in the league.
Yeah, when, it's February and teams have already given up on the season. It's just like...
Given up. They're not only have they given up.
Yeah, they're purposely trying to be bad. Yeah, exactly.
Which just screws up the standings for all the good teams.
And then, like, even the Washington Wizards, like, let's invent a new way of tanking. We're going to trade for a guy who isn't going to play for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So we don't even have guys to play.
And then we're going to trade for a second guy who maybe plays twice for us, but we're going to make up some injury.
Yeah, and that's what Jaren Jackson now is out for the year with for Utah. I mean, it's just, like, ridiculous that this is their solve, a fine. No, a rule needs to be, like, a punishment. That is not a punishment. Ryan Smith is a billionaire, man. Like, he $500,000 is nothing to them. So, like you said, they would pay all of that to end up with A.J. DeBonsa in the draft. So, we'll see if anything else comes out about this, because I'm pretty sure that this story is definitely not over with yet.
Hey, speaking of the NBA standings.
OKC.
You see who's in first place overall in the NBA, not just in the Eastern Conference now?
Yep, had this in the news. The Thunder lose again last night. No Shea, no Jalen Williams. They lose to the Giannis-less Bucks. Just nobody playing in that game. So the Pistons are headed into the All-Star break, which is officially the All-Star break right now, with the best record in the NBA, baby. Pretty sweet.
40-13, man. What a time to be alive. 40-13. Man.
Yeah, it's an odd time to think about that. We're going to get to see JB, we're going to see Cade, Duran, all of them at the All-Star weekend, at the All-Star game on Sunday. So pretty excited for that.
OKC still has the best point differential, by the way.
Who cares?
But we got the second.
5-5 in their last 10. Like,
not great.
Yeah, they haven't had Shea or Jalen Williams, so like they're two sources of offense, but who cares, right? You know? Okay, let's talk Tigers. JV's opening presser was yesterday. Got some fun quotes from Verlander. He had talked about that he knew someday I could come back to Detroit ever since he had left the Tigers. It was always kind of something that he had thought about doing. He also said that he knows 2026, this Tigers team is absolutely a World Series contending team because his biggest regrets when he was a Tiger was not winning the World Series in 2006 and 2012, and he wouldn't have come back to Detroit if he didn't feel like he could win a World Series here.
See, it's the perfect timing because this is the first time I think you and I feel like it's a World Series roster. This is the first time the Tigers feel like it's a World Series roster. And now there's a lot of you can feel it in 2 days worth of training camp. There's some real expectations to put together something special here. Do we think Verlander signs with the Tigers if they don't sign Framber Valdez? If it was truly until they become World Series contenders, I'm not going to go back to Detroit. Do we think Framber Valdez is what put them over the edge?
I think Framber Valdez is what put them over the edge, yes, but I don't think it's the reason why Verlander signed, if that makes... I think that Verlander probably still would have signed because you could still say the Tigers are a World Series contender. We just feel even better about it with Valdez, you know?
I think I think they went from fringe contender to real contender with Valdez.
Yeah,
I would agree. Oh, cool, you're going to win your division again. You're going to be in the postseason. Were you really going to be able to beat any of the good teams in the American League? Now, with the 1-2 punch that they have with Valdez and Skubal, and then on the back end, Mize and Flaherty and Verlander, yeah, now I feel like this is real, especially with the three closers as well.
I mean, you've got two of the best three left-handers in the American League on your team, and one of them's Tarek Skubal. With that back-end bullpen, got to see Kenley Jansen as well, so definitely pretty cool stuff.
He's a big dude.
He's
enormous.
He used to be catcher, man.
Which is crazy.
Got the Kenley Jansen catcher bobblehead somewhere up in here. Okay, let's talk about more MLB stuff because we have some fun MLB stuff and some bad MLB stuff. Which one would you like to hear first?
Give me the fun stuff first.
Okay, fun stuff. The MLB has revealed their ABS challenge system guidelines for the 2026 season. I think we're excited for this. We're not going to get the ABS challenge system in the World Baseball Classic, so no tease or hint of it will come then. It's just going to start with the MLB season. So essentially, you get 2 challenges in a game. That's how it's going to work for these players. And then obviously you're going to think, well, what happens when you go to extra innings? Well, if a team enters extra innings without a challenge, they'll be given an extra one every inning. And it's supposed to be instantaneous. Everyone's seen the clips of these, right?
Yeah.
Where you look at the umpire, boom, you do the review sign, they throw it right up on the screen. I'm just mainly excited for this because it is going to take away so many ejections. The amount of ejections that occur from just wrong calls is pretty ridiculous.
Or
so this
hot
is gonna...
take. Ejections are fun. And now they're going to ruin the ejections. No, I'm just kidding.
Ejections are kind of fun.
So is the player allowed to challenge? Because
yeah, it's the player's call. Yeah.
Okay, so this is gonna. So you're saying 2 per game for the team though, right?
Yes.
I can't wait for someone to burn these in the the
first inning,
first at bat. No, absolutely not. And the team's bruh, come on. So do you have more details on this, or can I ask
no,
a
you
question?
can keep going. Yeah.
So if something's called a ball, and it's just a little tiny tick over the strike zone, and someone wants to challenge it, would that get overturned?
If it's on the black, if it's in the zone at all, it's a strike.
Even a hairline.
Yeah. And the way that they're going to judge it is they're going to have different strike zones for the height of each player. Depending on your height, that's your strike. They'll have the zone already kind of displayed, ready to go. So, yeah, I think it's nonetheless, I just think this is a good thing for baseball. The bad thing for baseball, and we'll end the news here, save the rest for later, is that MLB is considering a partnership with these up-and-coming prediction markets. Kalshi, what's the other one? Polymarket. Yeah, they're considering a partnership with that, which I don't even know what that means. Like a way to gamble on the MLB. You already
Will
can.
there be a rain delay?
That's actually so. Over/under minutes on the rain delay.
I couldn't believe
stupid,
Giannis
man.
teamed up with the predictor market.
Literally,
That's
man.
crazy.
A guy in a league.
Who just had like markets open on him on whether or not he was going to be traded. Like this was the biggest storyline in the NBA for an entire month is whether or not this guy was going to be traded. And the day after it turns out he's not going to be traded, he partners up with the predictor market. I don't know, man.
It's all dumb.
I don't know. 989-837-6125. We'll get to your thoughts on whether or not the window is opening or closing for the Detroit Lions when we return. Hey, if you're rolling out of town this weekend, roll into Tommy's Express Car Wash and give your car the glow up it deserves. Fast, friendly, and freakishly good at cleaning. Roll in dirty, roll out sparkling. It is, in fact, that easy. High-tech wash tunnels, eco-friendly soaps, and a ride that looks showroom fresh in just a couple of minutes. Sign up for their unlimited club and wash as often as you want because clean cars, well, they just drive a little bit better. No appointments, no nonsense, just clean, quick, and kind of addictive. Tommy's Express Car Wash because your car called and it's begging for this. Locations in Midland, Saginaw, and Flint.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky. Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show. Let's see your guys' thoughts on whether or not the Lions' window is opening or closing. I don't think the window's closed, but I do think the window is trending downwards. Or you could look at that half glass full of like it's still cracked and they can continue to open it. But I just think there's a lot more problems that the Lions have to tackle this offseason than maybe we initially thought. Did they answer any of these questions with Drew Petzing? Just unproven. To say the least. But Jeremy Reisman got to talk to him at yesterday on their YouTube. And we're going to talk to Jeremy Reisman at 11 o'clock, so I'm excited about that. So let's see what you guys had to say about this entire thing. Again, 989-837-6125. That is the Mitt message line. Chris says maybe Dan Scamble should keep going for it on fourth down instead of taking the easy points. That'll open the window. You know, it is interesting how often Seattle was just taking the points this year. They didn't really go for it on fourth down all that often. They were in the bottom of the league in fourth down attempts and they just didn't really do it. They took the points and they trusted their defense.
Yeah, I mean, their defense was so good, though. Especially in the Super Bowl, it made a ton of sense. Like, Drake May and the Patriots hadn't moved the ball at all. You get a lead and you feel like you're going to win the game. So I think it made sense personnel-wise for Seattle. But for the Lions, it's not like their defense was stellar. You know, you kind of wanted to not give the ball back to the other team.
Yeah, but is the defense ever going to be stellar? Is it going to be good? Because the secondary is concerning, Kyle. It just is. Not as much as the offensive line, but it's creeping up there, at least at the beginning of the season when we know Brian Branch is going to be out and Kirby Joseph is, MIA. And is Terry Arnold good? That's somehow after 2 years still debatable.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not good.
No, it's not good at all. I just think that, nonetheless, whether or not the defense is good or not, Dan Campbell will go for it on fourth down, right?
He started to ease off it a little at the end of the year, I thought. Or because
it wasn't working, probably.
Yes, yes. He was the last person to realize we can't run it on 4th and 1.
Right, which, maybe he should have realized it earlier, but they also were really good at it a year ago, so.
Didn't have the same personnel.
Right.
Jeff says, yes, they went from a top 5 offensive line to just Sewell. The defensive line blows besides Hutch. The secondary can't stay healthy. Both safeties are cooked. Arnold looks like a bust. Too much draft capital spent on moving up for guys who are not good. Cap will be an issue with these guys going forward because of Brad Holmes' aggressiveness to keep the guys in-house. The window is closed.
Yo, somebody check on Jeff, man. It's a lot. It's a lot there, man.
But, what did Jeff say that's not...
No, I agree.
True.
Holy smokes. Defense blows. This guy sucks. The coach sucks. Everything sucks. Yeah.
Brent says, window not closed quite yet. They're still new at this, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, but there's going to be no more excuses after this season. I don't know, man. I can't say Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are new to this anymore. We're going into year 6, aren't we? Year 5 this is year 6, isn't it?
Yeah.
They ain't new to this anymore. This is last year was kind of the first must-win year. Now they're in a situation where it's only getting harder, and we saw that happen this past season. So I don't really want to sit here and give them any sort of excuses for last season either. That was enormous mistakes were made last offseason by not preparing better for the Frank Ragnow department. Enormous mistakes were made by not bringing any competition in for Graham Glasgow. I don't know, man. They made a lot of mistakes last year, and then you can go through all the draft ones, and we're not that could be a whole hour-long segment about how many draft issues there were the last couple of seasons with these heat checks from Brad Holmes. But yeah, I think they're already out of excuses. They've been out of excuses. There wasn't an excuse for what happened last year. You can bring up the injuries as something that did happen. It's not an excuse. It just did happen.
Right.
It wasn't good enough last year. I think a lot of that stems from the offseason and not having a great free agency, not retaining Kevin Zeitler. There was a lot of mistakes that were made.
There were, and I think that maybe hopefully they learned from them, because I think there was at least a fair reason to be like, hey, we won 15 games last year with the defense hurt basically the entire back half of the year, and we just flamed out in the playoffs. We feel like we can just bounce right back and get this thing done. And so I think it was fair to maybe not make a ton of crazy moves last offseason. Now there's no excuse for it. Yeah, it has to be fixed.
Texas says, I don't think the Lions window is closing anytime soon. I think it's still wide open because of our most important players being young and in their primes. Yeah, I mean, look at Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, who maybe is the only guy it's like, are you still in your prime? I don't know. The back thing is noteworthy.
I would say age-wise, he's still in his prime.
Age-wise, for sure.
And I think
it's always a little concerning when you have had multiple back problems.
But, like, leaving out an important one, Jared Goff is in his prime.
It's smack dab in the middle
like,
of it.
He's absolutely in his prime, yeah.
I don't – you know my stance on Jared Goff. Our audience knows my stance on Jared Goff. He's what, 31, 30?
30, I believe, on the dot.
He still has another 3-4 years, I think, just playing elite football, because it's not like he's using his athleticism and that's going to be on the decline the way that like a Lamar Jackson looked like he was on the decline last year. He's only getting better and better at what he does best, and that's dissecting a defense and being able to read it. And when Drew Petzing went on, Reisman's pod yesterday, he made a ton of good points about, like, Jared Goff is just as much a coach and a play caller and offensive designer as I am in this offense. He gets to the line and he sees things at a level that really no other quarterback in the NFL sees. I get this is a crazy thing to say, and I've said it before. He's the closest thing we have to Tom Brady in 2026. Mahomes in terms of the legacy, sure, but like in terms of style of play, non-athletic quarterback who gets into the, I guess you can throw Stafford into this as well, but gets to the line of scrimmage, sees what's going on in the defense, checks to something else, watches the defense adjust, checks one more time, and knows exactly where he's going to put the football before the play even happens. That's Tom Brady, and Jared Goff does it on a weekly basis. He's in his prime still. I agree with you.
He is 31, by the way, yes.
Bill says it takes time to rebuild, roughly 70 years. It's not nice. It's not nice on a Friday.
Is he wrong?
Thomas says the window closed in 1958. Also not nice. Also not nice. Mark says it is slammed shut. But I think to that other texter's point about the core being there, like you can't say the window's completely closed. It's not like it's shut and sealed by any stretch of the imagination. Like, I don't know. I'd say it's still 40% open, 60% closed. A lot of room. You can squeak through a window that's 40% open. You can wiggle your way through that.
Yeah, depending on your size.
A lot of things have to break right, but it's not like there's this team's Super Bowl window, for lack of a better word, is closed. I don't think it's closed, but it's closing. There's an ing at the end.
Okay, then how far away is it from fully being closed, or do we just not know yet?
I want to see what contracts get restructured this offseason. Is that fair to say, or is that dodging the question?
No, I think it's fair because even like we've talked about as far as ranking the teams most likely to win a championship in Detroit. Like, I kind of want to see the Lions offseason before I answer that question, as odd as that sounds.
I want to see the restructure of the contract, not just for this upcoming season, but like how much are they willing to be like, okay, how much are they willing to create a window is essentially what I'm wondering. Because if they restructure all like $128 million or whatever I said in the last segment that they could theoretically open up, that is going to create like a, hey, we got to do this in the next 3 years. But I don't envision them doing that because it's not like there's a ton of like explosive, who's going to go get that free agent splash signings. And it's also not like there's a ton of positions that are up for grabs. Obviously center, maybe left tackle, but those guys don't really hit the market. Linebacker, maybe they need a new safety. We'll see. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt in the 10 o'clock hour. We're going to fix the All-Star break, All-Star weekend. Want to talk more about this Detroit Lions team. We'll take a trip around the league and then some Tigers uniforms for next season did, in fact, get leaked. Let's hit that in the 10 o'clock hour, all coming up. Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt, live on YouTube. Like and subscribe on that end if you haven't already. Live on Facebook. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on one.
is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All-Star Weekend coming up. Cade Cunningham's in it. J.B. Bickerstaff's in it. Jalen Duren's participating in it. We thought he was going to do the dunk contest. He's not. He's also suspended, but he's allowed to play in the All-Star game. I can't imagine that's happened more than a handful of times, if any at all. What are we going to do to fix the All-Star game? Because I don't know what, like, this stripes versus stars versus world. This sucks. Nobody enjoys this. It's hard to explain what's going on. It's like a round robin, but there's 3 teams, so a team could technically win it before the game's even over. Bad.
You're not even going to give it a chance.
I'll throw it on. I'll give it a chance. I have very little expectations for it, though.
I mean, it's similar to what they've done the last couple years. They've done the 4 teams the last couple years.
Yeah, but a 4-team thing makes sense. There's like a tournament aspect of it.
Right.
It's an even number. The 3 in my head, like, how do you pull this off? I don't know. I've got a couple proposals for you. But we do have to entertain the idea of what Nick Wright brought to the table of black guys versus white guys. This actually is the fix to the All-Star game. But Nick Wright stole it. Great take.
He stole it. I mean, he
came up with it.
You're stealing it.
Yeah, I'm stealing it. Great take, though. It would be the most watched All-Star game ever. People would tune in.
I mean, come on.
They would.
It would never happen.
I know it would never happen, but I'm saying it would be the most watched All-Star game ever. Nick Wright said that on the Bill Simmons podcast, and it was genius. Imagine Cooper Flagg, Con Knipple.
Yeah, just saying those 2 guys before Jokic and
Luka
kind of hilarious.
Those guys, and then
the real actual All-Stars.
Yeah. That's why it has to be a couple years down the line. Austin Reeves, Duncan Robinson.
Kevin Huerter?
No.
Kevin Huerter snubbed from the white guy All-Star team, man.
No, that actually is the fix to the All-Star game in my eyes. But they'll obviously never do that. That seems a little controversial. My fix that I know you're going to hate on this, and most people would, but hey, if we want the All-Star game to actually matter, extreme circumstances need to change, right? Extreme changes need to happen. How about this? All-Star game, let's go back to East versus West. Home court advantage on the finals on the line. And not just a standard home court advantage. We're doing it in the format of 2-1-1-1-2. So you get 5 home games as the Eastern Conference team or the Western Conference team that wins the All-Star game. I know the initial reaction is, well, that seems a little unfair. If the goal is to fix the All-Star game, make people care about it. Make the players care about it. Incentivizing with money doesn't do anything for the fans. This actually would incentivize both, the players to play and the fans to watch. If, oh my God, which conference is going to have a major home court advantage come the finals?
We do not care.
An extra game.
Yeah, I mean, this is just such a bad idea.
Do you want? I'm trying to go to drastic measures to make them care about the All-Star game.
Why do they have to care about it? Like that? Like this?
We're trying to fix the All-Star game.
This is my whole thing. Why would we have a pointless game determine something so important? A break. Like,
do we want this game to be pointless though? That's the question.
No, it's not the do we want it to. It is pointless. Like, it's not the fact that do we want it to be or should it not be pointless. It just is pointless. It's a pointless game.
But it wasn't always that way. And I mostly agree with you that it's probably never going to get back. But if we want it to truly matter, how else are we going to fix it?
But like, it doesn't matter because it goes back to the grand scheme point of like the way that everyone is so easily accessible in 2026. Like that's why the All-Star game isn't cool anymore. It's not because they don't try. It's because in the 1990s, you didn't get to watch Dominique Wilkins every night. You didn't get to go on Instagram and see all these highlights of Clyde Drexler. Like that was your chance to watch them because you didn't have League Pass and you didn't have Instagram to see all the highlights of all these guys in SportsCenter and this and that. Like it was actually a real ability to watch these guys play. Now it's like I get to see these guys play in the off season. I get to see them.
I don't have to watch a game and I get to see them play.
Well, exactly. I don't even have to do anything. I can in 5 seconds go watch anything I want. Highlights of this and that and that and this and that's why the All-Star game. They could try. They could actually really try, and I still think it wouldn't be this big pizzazz thing because it's just not that big of a deal to see all the stars of the NBA because I get to do it on a nightly basis.
No, I agree with your big picture point. Again, I'm just trying to take drastic measures to figure out what would actually work, because doing these little like, oh, you get $1 million. Why would the fans care about that? Why would the players that are all stars who are already on these insane contracts work? I think if you're going to make the players care about it, you're going to have to do something pretty drastic. And this was my fix to it. Home court advantage on the line, plus an extra home game for the winner.
The
of
extra
each
home
conference.
game is something I've never thought about, because doing the MLB tried doing this. The winner of the All-Star game, AL versus NL gets.
I don't know why they got rid of that. It was awesome.
I mean, I don't think it's awesome. I think it's kind of pointless.
I think it rocks.
Also, like, it's hard. How do you not try in a baseball All-Star game?
Yeah,
that's how do you not
different.
try? Exactly. But basketball and football are the two sports. It's so obvious that there is a lack of effort there. And I'll stop doing my thing of just like, the NBA All-Star weekend, it sucks anyways. Why are we trying to fix it when there's clearly other things that need to be fixed in the NBA anyways? But if we were trying to make it watchable, I do think going back to the East versus West just probably is the play. Some sort of nostalgia factor, I think, has to get added to get the fans to care. Like, maybe you go back to as simple as it is, do East versus West and have them all wear their jerseys. Have them all wear their regular team jerseys. They did that in the early 2000s in the All-Star game. It was kind of cool. Obviously, there was the 1 year of course, unfortunately, when Kobe Bryant passed away, they add in the fact of
it was the best All-Star game we've ever had.
It was the best All-Star game. I mean,
not ever, but like in
a
long time.
The ending was so cool, and they had the Elim ending where it was first team to 24 points after some team got to X score or whatever. But it was awesome, and they were trying. And unfortunately, it took like a terrible thing to happen in the sport for that to occur. But that was a way of doing it. And so I don't know if maybe just trying to get back to some sort of there has to be a reason for not only, like you said, the players to care, but for the fans to care, which maybe that is your reason with adding the fifth game. I've never thought of the 5 and 2. That seems
it's egregious. I know
it's egregious because then like if the Pistons make the finals, so you're telling me all because Jaylen Brown didn't care in the All-Star game that the Pistons are getting screwed over in the finals?
Yeah, now he's our mortal enemy.
Right, like that
creates,
just seems
creates
terrible.
Controversy.
Or it makes us put an asterisk next to the champion.
Not if every
they got 5 home games.
It's
of
not.
course
It's
they
not
won
my
the
greatest
finals.
idea. I'm just trying to fix this thing,
right?
Because it's right now. I don't think anybody cares about it.
No.
Dunk contest. You're gonna like this one.
Okay.
Rather than the 4 participants that they always have, it's a 1v1. There's only 2 guys participating, and they have the rest of their season's salary on the line. The other player, whoever wins, can absorb the other person's salary, and the other person who loses doesn't get paid the rest of the year.
Why would any player ever agree to do this?
To double their salary.
So the gamblers of the league could play in
we
this.
find out who's really
Terry Rozier versus Malik Beasley.
Yes, you get it.
I owe the Italian mafia a bunch of money. Here's a good way to get it all back.
Imagine Amen versus Asar Thompson. Winner gets an extra.
You're saying just a regular 1v1 or 1v1 dunks?
1v1 dunks. It's still a dunk contest. There's only 2 participants, though.
Okay. See, I do think that, like, this isn't a dunk contest thing, but I think just adding the 1v1 tournament to the All-Star weekend.
See, I don't care about this either.
That's a fun way to mix things up, and I think players would want to do it.
I don't think they would care that way either. Well,
I don't
if they
know.
don't care about 5-on-5, why would they care about 1-on-1?
It's a 1v1. Like, a lot of these guys are – it kind of gives you that ability to show off your scoring ability. Like,
how
random –
about this, though? It's not that fun for the viewer.
You don't think so? I think it would be pretty fun because I think in a 1v1, anybody could win it. Like, if you get a pool of, like, 8 guys, like, why couldn't Peyton Pritchard go out and win the 1v1 contest?
Wemby destroys everybody.
Does he?
Yes.
I don't know, man. I think it'd be fun.
I don't think anybody would score on Wemby. I just think it leads to a lot of, like, just kind of, as a viewer, you're just kind of watching. Like, there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of dead time, I think, compared to a 5-on-5 game where it's up and down the court. And I don't know. I think the viewers don't like it as much as you might think.
I guess when you go to the dunk contest, though, like, the dunk contest is just kind of, it's for sure screwed. Like, you can come up with all these ways that the All-Star break or the All-Star game, you could fix it maybe. But the dunk contest is screwed because everybody has done all the dunks. Like, it's that simple, man. There just isn't new dunks to do.
That's also true.
Like, that's the part
like
about
who
it
can
that
bring
sucks.
out the cooler prop.
we see all of these dunks and we're like, oh, whatever. And if that same dunk was done in 1995, it would have been the greatest dunk in dunk contest history.
Yeah. What percent of the league do you think can dunk from the free throw line now, which won Michael Jordan a dunk contest? What percent of the league do we think could do that?
Probably a lot of them.
Over half? Do you think over half could do it?
That seems like a stretch. None of the big men could. But, I also just think that even simple stuff like off the glass, between the legs, 360. You see those dunks and you're just like, oh, yeah, that was fine. That was like a 45. And those dunks are crazy. You know? That's just the odd part about the dunk contest.
Or if you took someone from, 1991 and, the dunks that won them that year's dunk contest and you put them in this year's, we'd be like, who the hell let this guy in?
Once again, when Vince Carter put his arm in the rim,
unseen.
That was awesome. It was crazy when he did it. And now everybody tries to replicate that. Jaylen Brown did it, and he tried to do the D Brown thing too. It's not that cool.
Panther mask?
Yeah, it's not that cool. It's just because it's already been done. All these dunks have already been done. It makes it tough.
3-point contest. I think this needs a shift in the dynamic. This needs to be a tournament. We've got two sides of a court. Why are we not utilizing both? One-on-ones, field of 8. It is a true bracket to see who ends up as the 3-point
Like the home
champion.
run derby.
Yes, precisely like the home run derby. Why is only one person going at a time? They should be racing each other or competing against each other.
Around the world style. Oh, you're saying they're going at the same time?
They're going at the same time on two different ends of the court.
No,
why
what
have we not done this?
What if we put them on the same hoop?
So then you got balls hitting the
It's more chaotic.
It would be.
You ever
chaotic.
played around the world against somebody live? It's kind of like that, you know?
Yeah, I was thinking opposite.
No, you're
sides
right
of the
though. I
court,
guess I haven't
and
thought about
you've
that.
You've got the cameras.
First one to finish kind of thing.
You got to do more points as well.
Right.
You got to have more makes. Or maybe it's simply we're going to start the timer, 2 minutes or 90 seconds or however long it is, 1 minute, and whoever makes more threes wins.
I see. I think if you're doing a 1v1, you put all the balls on a rack, and it's just first one to get to X makes wins. You know? Because then it's a speed factor. First one to make X amount of threes.
I like this. First person to make 25 threes.
Yeah, whatever your
round.
number is. Yeah, exactly.
And then the championship's 30.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're not utilizing both sides of the court for the 3-point
I like this
contest.
one. This one's pretty good.
It should be a bracket, head-to-head, like the home run derby. And Caitlin Clark needs to be in it every year. I think people would watch more if she was in it. And that's me being very genuine.
Yeah, but that's also Caitlin Clark's whole stance on that is that's taking away from the WNBA. You know,
why?
Because she should be in the WNBA contest, not the NBA ones.
She should be in both. Why would it diminish their product to have her represent the WNBA? There'd be more eyes on her doing that than there ever will be in
right. But I'm saying
side.
it takes away from the WNBA if she does the NBA one. No one who's going to watch the WNBA 3-point contest if she's doing the NBA one.
Who's going to watch it either way?
Because it's Caitlin Clark. That's why. You would watch it.
Have you ever watched a 3-point contest? I didn't even know
Clark
the
hasn't been in it.
Okay, problem number 1. How about you just do it
She's
first?
been injured.
Every year? Or 2 years?
She wasn't an All-Star the first time.
She wasn't an All-Star the first year when she was a rookie?
I don't know.
Didn't they do the rookies versus the vets? Or the Team Olympics versus the youngs? I don't remember. Those would be my
Okay.
All-Star weekend fixes. I think I like the 3-point one the most.
Yeah, I think that's fun.
Just make it one-on-one. Head-to-head, I guess, is the better term. 989-837-6125. Tigers, new uniforms leaked. That's when we come back. Ben Bosscher Show, as always, brought to you by our friends over at Bresky Siding and Building Repair. And I need to tell all the parents out there one thing, specifically the parents to the athletes. If you've got kids getting ready for spring or summer sports, you got to visit Great Lakes Spine and Medical, as they've got you covered with sports physicals. They make the process fast, easy, stress-free, no long waits, no bouncing all over town. Plus, you're not just checking a box. Their medical team actually looks at the overall movement, flexibility, and injury prevention to help athletes stay healthy all season long. Whether it's school sports, travel sports, or rec leagues, Great Lakes Spine and Medical is a great local operation done right here and on time. Appointments are easy to schedule. Get those physicals done now and be ready for game day at Great Lakes Spine and Medical.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Probably should have asked this pre-production. Kyle, do we have the pictures for our YouTube audience of the leaked jerseys? I knew you would. These are so much better than those stupid City Connects that they were wearing last year. Tigers uniforms have been leaked. The Tigers haven't officially put these out there yet, but they teased them on the Twitter. Fanatics, leave it to the Fanatics. This is how the Lions black Motor City jerseys got released as well. But Fanatics has leaked the jerseys. There's a navy jersey, navy blue. Some people are saying it's black. It looks navy to me.
It looks navy.
And there's an orange jersey to be representing the Detroit Tigers in two different alternates. We'll see. I would imagine both of them are 100% real. I don't think the Tigers would have teased both jerseys if they weren't.
Two alternates, though. What?
Both so much better than the City Connects. Oh, I hated the City Connects last year, Kyle. They weren't jerseys. They were T-shirts. They were bad, ugly T-shirts, too. I see people walking around with the City Connects. Do you have a City Connect? Am I about to offend you?
No, I have a hat though that's like a City Connect themed hat.
Those are fine. The actual jerseys themselves, the T-shirts. First of all, where did we get that blue from? What shade of blue is that, and where did that come from? Because that's not the Tigers blue. It's not navy blue. I hate those jerseys, the T-shirts. I'm so glad they're going to be done with those because these are actually baseball jerseys. They're button-ups. We've got.
What do you mean the T-shirts? Isn't every baseball jersey a T-shirt?
Didn't the Motors? I don't think the Motor City Connect ones last year buttoned up, did they?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Just
I guess I don't really know.
I hated it. These ones are actually like traditional Major League Baseball jerseys, both of which I think are pretty cool. I like the orange a little bit more than I like the navy, though, because any jersey without the English D on it, I'm just not a fan of, which is, I think, maybe the biggest reason I didn't like the Motor City jerseys last year or the City Connect jerseys last year.
The Tigers Road jerseys literally don't have them on them either.
That's why you'll never see me wearing one of those.
I like the Tigers Gray Road jerseys, man. I think they're actually fire.
They're fine. They're old school. They're traditional. If you're gonna pull this random shade of blue and not have the Tigers logo on it, I'm not gonna be a fan of it. That's why this orange one. I mean, this is everything we've dreamed of, right? We've been asking for orange jerseys for 15 years as an alternate, and they've refused to give them to us. And it feels like this year they know something special's brewing. They got the navy English D on it with the white trim, with the double stripe on the sleeve of a white stripe and a navy stripe. Oh, my God. I love this. We're finally getting cool jerseys because last year I don't think they were very cool.
No, I love these jerseys, man. Like, I just think the fact that we're getting two of them, like,
crazy.
Why are we getting two of them? You know, well, the thing is, because I don't know if this
Can we just never wear the grays again?
They might. No, come on. Those are the road jerseys, man. The only thing that I have seen people saying this, and Gary is also saying in our YouTube chat, it's been a common thing on social media. The orange one just looks like an Orioles jersey. Which is fair.
I need to see what the pants look like. Are we going double orange?
Ooh, I don't think you can go double orange, right? That's too much orange.
So it'd be gray, right?
Well, I mean, maybe it would be like white.
Or orange and white. I don't know if I like that. I think it'd have to be orange and gray.
Yeah, maybe you go with the navy pants because if
I'm fine with the navy pants.
As long
too.
As long as the details on this are navy and not black, I think that separates it from being an Orioles jersey.
I don't know how people see this as black. That's clear
I'm saying
as day navy to me.
the one on the orange. You know, like the stripe and the name and the number and the English D on the orange jersey. As long as that's navy and not black, then I think it kind of separates it from being an Orioles jersey.
Yeah, I guess I see why people think it's an Orioles jersey, but they're not going to do like what the Padres do and have these like egregious pink and colorful and crazy. Like that's not what the Tigers have done. I think that's why they've been hesitant to do any of these alternate jerseys anyway, is because they have some of the cleanest, most classic jerseys in baseball. It's why the Yankees, you don't really see them wearing their alternates all that often, because why would you ever get out of the pinstripes? I feel the same way about the Tigers' traditional home jerseys. The clean, white, navy logo, no trim on it needed, English D. I think the home jerseys are about as good as it gets in baseball. It's clean, it's classic. I like having these alternates as an option, though. I really do. It makes it feel a little bit big time.
I agree. The Tigers' home whites are just, it's a classic. It's one of the most classic uniforms and classic logos in all of sports. But the fact that they're doing the home one and it's basically just that, but it's orange, and we're getting a navy one, like, I've always been wanting that old Tigers logo of the like
crack cocaine tiger.
Yeah, not that super cracked out one, but the one that is not as cracked out.
That one's crazy.
The super cocaine tiger one is definitely
iconic.
I don't know about iconic. It's hilarious, but I've always kind of wanted that, some sort of throwback with that logo involved. And these jerseys just kind of feel like that era. The fact it's the navy and orange. There's no orange really involved in the current Tigers.
I feel as if the navy jerseys here should have, like, the hat or the helmet should have a tiger on them rather than the English D. But when you already have the English D on the jersey, you got to have it on the hat as well. You got to double up.
Right. I hope that they implement that old Tigers logo with the actual tiger on it.
On the hat of the Navy.
On the hat of, or just one of them. Like, why not? I'm getting these for sure. I'm probably going to get the hat too, like, because the orange hat probably goes crazy. I just can't wait till these are, like, officially on sale. But, yeah, the Tigers' Twitter account tweeted out, like, oops, alts got leaked. We'll announce it soon. So these likely are real.
I will tell people this. Be hesitant about the orange purchase. make sure you have something to wear with it because orange doesn't really go well with all that much. You don't really see people be wearing orange all that often. You kind of stick out like a sore thumb. I don't think I have anything orange in my wardrobe.
Sure. I guess this is fair because, like, do you remember last year in the playoffs for the Tigers when it was like, we're doing an orange out?
Yeah, no one had anything orange.
I had to go to the store to find a Tigers orange shirt. Luckily, I found one. But I had to go to the store to get one because not only do I not have orange, I for sure don't have any orange Tigers stuff. So it was it was a crazy ask for them to be like, wear your orange Tigers gear, and it's like you don't even have any available for sale.
I like the color orange. I don't like. You'd have to wear like blue pants with it though, right?
Or like gray pants. I mean, you just wear like sweatpants. Oh, you're saying like the jerseys themselves?
Yeah, if you're going to buy the jersey, like you have the option of wearing blue shorts or blue pants with them, but like navy blue, and that's probably it.
As a fan?
Yeah.
You can wear whatever you want. Why can't I wear black or gray pants? Like
black, okay, because if there's navy on the shirt,
okay, sure.
You can't wear the
Why
black.
can't I just wear gray sweatpants or like khaki pants with it? Like that looks fine.
Khaki with orange? No.
What?
No, that looks. No, I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't know if I can get behind
khaki
that.
doesn't go wrong. Like khaki fits with everything.
Not orange.
Why not?
It's like clashing. It's like because khaki's like.
Are you about to say khaki is a shade of orange?
No, it's not a shade of orange, but it's like if orange was tone deaf, I feel like khaki is what comes out. You know?
No, I don't know.
I think these are W uniforms. I remember I always used to play 2K12 on the Wii with Justin Verlander on the cover. I'd always make the Tigers wear orange jerseys. Not really sure where they got those because I don't think they ever actually wore them. But these are cool. I like them. They have my stamp of approval. 989-837-6125. We'll take a trip around the league when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. You can see us live on YouTube as well. Bright smiles. We got them on our faces, and they start at Scott Family Dental. I got an appointment a week from Monday. I'm excited. Not really. It's a dentist at the end of the day. But it is my first time going to Scott Family Dental. I'm excited to get a new dentist now here in town. Comfort, care, clean teeth, they come at a standard. He tells me he's not going to hurt me, so I believe him. I believe him. Locally owned by Brandon Scott, native of the Great Lakes Bay region. The business is family-focused. They treat patients of all ages like their own. From routine checkups to whitenings, crowns, and more, they got the tools and the gentle touch to keep your smile shining. Friendly staff, modern tech, zero judgment, even if it's been a while since your last visit. So go ahead and show off those pearly whites. Scott Family Dental has your back and your teeth.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back in. Half hour from now, we'll talk to Jeremy Reisman. He had a conversation with Drew Petzing. I don't know how he landed that, man. We're going to have to ask him how he got the Lions to agree to do that because Drew Petzing hasn't even done an introductory press conference yet. Crazy. So until then, how about you and I take a trip around the league?
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
Around the league, always presented by Aired Insurance Group with Farm Bureau. This time around, NFL overhaul tiers from ESPN. Rebuild time for 18 non-playoff teams. This is split up into a bunch of different tiers, Kyle. The first tier is called No Need to Panic. Again, this is 18 teams that didn't make the playoffs. Let's see if you can name all the teams in this tier.
No need to panic, huh?
Correct.
How many teams are in it?
1, 2, 3, and that is it.
Lions, Chiefs.
Correct.
Ravens?
Nailed it. Lions, Chiefs, Ravens. No need to panic. They'll be back.
Yeah, I'm him.
Next tier is called A Few Moves Away.
Quickly, by the way, I just have to throw this in because I feel like I owe this. Sam says khaki is hard to match with orange.
Doesn't that mean I was right?
Yeah, that's
Oh.
what I'm saying. Like, okay, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, anyways.
It's like tone deaf orange.
Whatever that means.
I don't really know what it means.
Yellow and khaki, I think, are hard to match.
Yellow's hard to match with basically anything.
Yeah, yellow and black, I think, is fine. Or black and yellow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what it is. A few moves away.
A few moves away. How many teams we got here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I would say the Minnesota Vikings are in this tier.
Correct. They are a few moves away. Top free agent Jalen Naylor. That seems like a weird top free agent.
Former Spartan.
It kind of just seems like they're a quarterback away, which
They're not, but like I doubt they
it's not
acquire
gonna
one.
happen,
They
yeah.
might bring one into the room, but like McCarthy probably is still for sure their day one guy next year.
or Kirk Cousins or Tua.
Is it weird to say that I think the Dallas Cowboys are in this tier?
No, they're in here.
Okay.
I think that's the right tier for them to be in. I mean, they've got
Right.
the pieces. It feels like Pickens is coming back on the franchise tag. They've got CD, so they've got their double superstar receivers. They don't have a running back. It didn't really matter last year. They just got to find a way to protect Dak and keep building on that defense that they shifted so many times throughout the season last year.
What about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
They're also in this. Kyle, you haven't missed yet.
Oh
You
man,
haven't
now
missed
the
yet.
pressure's on. How many more teams are in this tier?
There was 5 total.
Okay,
You
I've gotten
named
3 of them. So, see, the tough part is like I think the Falcons are a couple moves away, but one of those is a quarterback. So that's what's like that's bigger than a couple moves. So I'm gonna.
Well, isn't that kind of the Minnesota logic?
Yeah, but they for sure know who their quarterback is next year. The Falcons don't even know. So
Then I would say if that's the logic, then Minnesota might need to be in the top tier of it'll be okay. No need to panic. Unless JJ sucks again. Then there'd be reason to panic.
sure. Anyways, I'm not gonna say the Falcons yet because I have another team. How about the Indianapolis Colts in this tier?
Kyle, you're on fire right now. The Indianapolis
Bang.
Colts are, in fact, on here. They still have not paid Daniel Jones. He's a free agent.
Yeah, but they will because no other team is paying him coming off that injury.
No, and they'll probably get him at a cheaper deal unless
Right.
he's willing to just sign another one. Like unless he
that's what I
wants
was
to
gonna
sign
say.
another 1 year. He
I could
could
see
have
another
the
1
Kirk
year.
Cousins route of just continuing to sign like. Well, I guess Kirk always
Kirk was the
somehow
tag,
ended up, huh?
Kirk was always on the tag, which I guess is just 1 year deal after another. but
He was always on the tag, but he found a way to sign 1 year deals and then also always found a way to give himself the big deal.
he got a big deal from Minnesota and from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm debating between 2 teams here. It's between Atlanta and it's between the Cincinnati Bengals because I think the Washington Commanders have more than a couple of moves away. So I will go with the Atlanta Falcons.
Your first slip up. It was the Bengals.
Oh, it was the Bengals. Okay.
I feel like they're more than a few moves away, though.
That's kind of why I went with Atlanta.
Atlanta's 1 move away, but it's impossible for them
Cincinnati
to make that move.
Is like, okay, yeah, our couple of moves away is fixing
11
the
guys on the
entire
defense.
offensive line and fixing the entire defense.
Yeah.
Oh, we're losing our only good guy on defense in Trey Hendrickson? Yikes. So
I don't think I'll ever get it with Cincinnati. I think they didn't. I don't want to say they got lucky the year they went to the Super Bowl. They earned it, but they had a great defense. That's what people forget about that year. Like that defense was so awesome throughout the playoffs. I just don't trust their ownership or spending wise to not just in free agency, but just like it's just a small market team. They treat themselves. They're one of the few teams in the NFL that just like, if we're talking from a production standpoint, from just an in-house perspective, they cheap out on everything. I don't want to be in business with the Cincinnati Bengals. It's tough for me to pick them as a serious team going forward. The next tier is called Sneaky Good Trajectories. There's 3 teams in this tier.
Sneaky good trajectories. I mean, I have to just go with Atlanta, who was in my last group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who Kyle Pitts is listed as their biggest free agent.
I would sneaky put the New Orleans Saints on here.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Saints are on here. The mother Shuckers.
And then if we're talking about trajectories, the team that everybody's all over this offseason.
Oh, you're nailing this.
It's the New York Giants, right?
Correct.
Man, I'm kind of going crazy right now.
Next tier is called Somewhere Between Contention and Reset.
Oh, wow, this
God.
is great. This is great because the Pittsburgh Steelers should be in here, but they made the playoffs.
I'll tell you this. There's only one team.
Is it Washington?
Dude. Did you already read this
I'm
article?
I'm just looking at the standings right now to remind myself of teams.
I think you already read the article.
I swear I did not.
Yeah, it is the Commanders. Somewhere between contention and reset. I don't know, man. I don't like that they had their NFC Championship year, and then they were just like, it'd be sick if we just wrecked everything and started firing coaches and making sure we have the oldest roster around our young quarterback. I don't know what they did the last year, but it wasn't good.
I don't really know how to describe that team going forward. Like they're in a weird spot, definitely.
You know what they're in?
David Blau.
Washington Commanders territory. This is like where they thrive.
And they're about to be back in Washington, D.C., too.
Well, that's still a few years away, right?
Well, yeah.
Next tier is called in the middle of a rebuild. 2 teams.
In the middle of a rebuild. Okay, so it's like they're allowed to be rebuilding.
Yes.
Tennessee.
Correct.
And then obviously it's got to be the team that acquired a bunch of first-round picks at the deadline last year, the Jets, right?
No, because they're at like the beginning of
they're
a
in
rebuild.
a rebuild.
No,
Okay.
they're in a different tier.
Then is it okay? It can't be the If it's not the Jets, it can't be the Raiders. So, in the middle of a rebuild, what are? No, it's not Arizona because they still have like their quarterback. But how many?
They
teams
just
do I
fired
even
all
have
their
left?
coaches. Well,
Cleveland.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like they're just kind of forever stuck in this tier. They're forever in the middle of a rebuild.
How can they be in a rebuild when they already have a Pro Bowl quarterback?
That's a good point, Kyle. That's a good point. And the defensive player of the year.
Shadow. Yeah, and the defensive rookie of the year, man. They got a great roster. Oh, wait, they have a... Never mind.
No,
I was going to make a Deshaun Watson joke.
Okay. Next tier, the final tier,
Predator
all
is
the
the
teams
quarterback.
that you haven't named yet, is called the full-blown overhaul.
Yeah, so that's Jets, Raiders, Cardinals. That's it?
And there's one more, Miami.
Oh, I totally forgot about Miami.
It's easy to do that these days.
That's a good point.
I honestly might have the Raiders a little bit higher of like sneaky good trajectory.
That's what I was going to say.
Like
because
the Raiders have the blue chippers on their team and the draft pick. Now there is this sudden pushback that Fernando's not a first overall pick. That's been in my timeline a lot this
Really?
week. That Fernando's not a true full-fledged number 1 overall prospect.
I think that's fair, like when you're comparing across other classes, but like in this class, he absolutely is.
Correct. But that's where the pushback
That's the
is.
take, yeah.
I think that's accurate though, because I wasn't convinced of Fernando Mendoza. It took him winning a national championship to be the number 1 overall pick. I think I knew by October Cam Ward was my guy. I like if we're doing just from a prospect standpoint, I think Cam Ward's probably ahead of Fernando. I think,
but once again, like
going into the league, May and Caleb and Daniels
that's
were
what I was
all
going to
ahead
say.
of Fernando.
Like, that class still just kills any of the quarterbacks that have come out of the last 2 classes.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. There's also just not really a second quarterback.
Like, does
this
Bo
year.
Nix go first in this year's class?
No, that's where I think it's still Fernando. I think Fernando
Okay.
would go over JJ. I think
Yeah.
Fernando would go over Penix. But those three quarterbacks plus Cam Ward, I think we're better prospects coming in than Fernando. Fernando's got the elite processing going for him. Like that's something that I think he can adjust quickly into the NFL, whereas Cam Ward, it took him a little bit longer.
Does Dante Moore go? Oh, wait. He's coming back to school.
That's correct. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mid. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. In about 20 minutes, we'll talk to Jeremy Reisman. If you're looking for workwear that actually works as hard as you got to check out Thomas Trading Post. They've been proudly serving the Tri-County area for over 40 years, and when it comes to your trusted brands and dependable gear, they know how to get you your stuff. In fact, they have the largest retail of Carhartt in the area. I think I'm wearing a Carhartt shirt under this sweatshirt, which makes the selection you want exactly what you need. Whether you're on the job site or in the field or just need durable everyday apparel, Thomas Trading Post has you covered. Stop in today just north of the Midland Mire and see why they have been our favorite local shop for more than 4 decades. That's Thomas Trading Post. Built for work, built to last.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.
All right, 989-837-6125. Welcome back in. So what's the consensus here? That the Lions window, it's not closed, but it's kind of closing? And there's some urgency here this offseason. That's where my stance would be on the whole window thing. And again, like, I don't really believe in the whole window thing, so we've done a lot more window talking than I guess I anticipated. But I just fundamentally think that when you have a coach you believe in, when you have all your blue chip talent as much as the Lions do, I just think there's a lot of things that could theoretically go right for the Lions this offseason. But it's a lot more than I necessarily thought, I guess is where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, like, your reasoning why you don't feel that the Lions window, just this conversation in general, like, when you have good management, it shouldn't matter. But when you look at the teams, like the Patriots, for example, like, they were in two separate windows. You know, like, their Super Bowl window closed, and obviously it was still the same management. It's still a lot of the same guys as far as infrastructure goes. You replace one really good coach with another really good coach, but it took a switch at quarterback. You know, like, you look at the teams that haven't necessarily had a window closed at all, like Buffalo, like Kansas City, like consistently. I know Kansas City was bad this year. What, we think they're going to be bad again? Like, teams that consistently are Super Bowl contenders year in, year out, it kind of all starts with either A, really good coaching, B, really good quarterback, or both. You know, like, it's kind of that simple. So do you think that the Lions have one of those two things or both? Then maybe you feel like the Super Bowl window can't close because they just have that infrastructure already built.
I'd say they have a really good head coach. I don't know about the assistants. I'd say they have a really good quarterback, but he's not great. It's not that much different from Green Bay, right? Like, I'm trying to think of another team that's maybe not had, like, one of those top 5 franchise quarterbacks, but has just had a good coach and was able to have sustained success for a long time. And I think Pittsburgh's the easy team to go to, but people get put off by the idea of just based on how Pittsburgh's, like, last 6 years have gone.
That's kind of a good one. I haven't necessarily thought about Green Bay because Green Bay's, I mean, they obviously are. They haven't really been bad. Like, they've been especially under Matt LaFleur, and even when it was McCarthy moving to LaFleur, like, they had a gap year in there, and they've gone from Rodgers to Love. Now, they are kind of the extreme example of we are not even going to, like, mess around with not having a quarterback for a year. You know, like, they've just consistently, like, we are always planning for the next phase, which sometimes that can hurt you because it can push your most legendary quarterback ever out.
It's also like they did with Aaron Rodgers. Pick for a couple of years.
Sure, but I mean, I don't think they would view it as a waste at this point, right? I mean, Jordan Love has been their starting quarterback for the last X years. So.
I mean, when you're on the verge of winning a Super Bowl or, like, Super Bowl contention, and you draft a quarterback who's going to sit on your bench for 3 years, that first round pick doesn't help you. You know, I get that's not the way they think about it, but it's one way to think about their method.
No, that's a good point. But yeah, I mean, if you want to look at it that way, as far as a situation where a team doesn't have the elite quarterback and still have had a Super Bowl window in, year out. I mean, Green Bay kind of is that example right now. Yeah, they haven't gone to one, so can we really even count them? I don't know. Lions haven't either, though.
You know what I'm just now realizing? It's Friday the 13th.
Oh, it is.
I just now realized that.
It's day before Valentine's Day, so that's probably why it's not getting talked about, you know?
You're saying Valentine's Day is trumping... It's trumping Friday the 13th. Does Friday the 13th even count as creepy if it's not, like, in the fall, though? Does it have to be, like,
probably
October-ish?
Not. Yeah, because, like, a Friday the 13th that's in, like, July.
Yeah,
it's just like, I'm not scared. It's summertime, man. I'm having a good time.
It's supposed to be 41 degrees today. There's nothing.
That's
this
awesome.
is good. This is fantastic. I'm going to wear shorts tomorrow.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared of anything.
John might wear shorts to his high school basketball game today if it's 41
He's
degrees.
He's about to pull up in here in shorts for sure.
It's like spring training starts and the sun instantly starts coming out. Honestly, man, like 30 degrees sounds nice the way that we've been treated here the last month or so.
It's been pretty rough.
The fact that we're getting 41 today.
41.
I didn't realize it was Friday the 13th, I guess.
I did not put that together either.
Nothing bad has happened to you yet so far today?
I love how you say nothing yet, as in like something
It could happen.
Something will happen to be bad today.
Bad things happen
no,
every day.
Not yet, but we still have another hour left of this show, so a lot of time for that.
Well, in that last hour, Jeremy Reisman's going to join us. We're gonna hit the news. We'll do our 2 traditions to close out every single show. There's a lot of good stuff coming up. I'm thinking Friday the 13th. We're gonna block it this time around. It can't happen to us, you know. There's nothing bad can happen to us on. We're not afraid of Friday the 13th.
See, I think that would have happened if we didn't bring it up. But now the fact that it's been brought up is almost that now something might happen. You see what I'm getting at?
What's the worst thing that could happen?
I could think of a lot of bad things.
I'm having a hard time.
Hey,
go
sorry,
ahead.
go for it.
No, you go.
Just might as well use this time to give some YouTube chats out. Gary, we're talking about them Tigers uniforms again. He said the New Jersey needs a Little Caesars pizza dude on the sleeve.
No, it does not. No, it does not.
Pizza.
Maybe that's why the Tigers are incorporating orange. It's all just one grand scheme marketing.
Wait, we're a top 10 team in payroll. We need New Jersey so everyone can buy.
It's actually kind of genius, isn't it? 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Hey, I'm looking at our YouTube. Go ahead and please like and subscribe on that end if you haven't already. Just go and give it a big old thumbs up. It helps spread that content to everyone else who has YouTube open. Then the more people hop in, more people like it, more it grows to everybody else. I know I'm redundant saying that, liking it every single day, but we appreciate it here at The Mitt. We really do. And by the way, remember when yesterday to end the show, when I said that person in my rec basketball league was going to score 0 points? He scored 6, but only 1 versus me. Only 1 bucket on me.
Still more than 0, though.
I just wanted to raise the stakes for that game, and I did that. I accomplished my goal, and then I got elbowed in the jaw. Now, every minute or so, I feel like I'm not going to be able to open my mouth again. It's tough.
Brandon Scott's not going to like that, man.
I know. He's going to have to fix it.
Visit the dentist, man. It's not going to be good.
He's going to have to fix it. 989-837-6125. We'll be back in the 11 o'clock hour for a conversation with Jeremy Reisman and a whole lot more. Hey, the Midland Area Community Foundation is dedicated to strengthening our community through generosity and connection, supporting local nonprofits, scholarships, and projects that make Midland a better place to live, work, and play. Your donations help fund vital programs in education, health, the arts, and more right here at home. Partner with the foundation, leave a lasting legacy, and create positive change for generations to come. Get involved, give back, or learn more at midlandfoundation.org. Together, we build a stronger Midland, one gift, one idea, and one heart at a time.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by...
yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Welcome into the 11 o'clock hour presented by Yater Insurance. Jeremy Reisman from PrideOfDetroit.com is now joining us. Jeremy got to talk to Drew Petzing yesterday on Pride of Detroit's YouTube channel. Go check that out. It's a good watch. I don't know how you convinced the Lions to have you guys be the platform for his introductory to Lions fans. He hasn't even had a press conference yet. So first, congratulations on that. That was really exciting news to see, and I enjoyed the YouTube video as well.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, it was a pretty cool, unique opportunity, and definitely appreciate the Lions PR for cooperating. And I think it kind of made a little sense. The more I thought about it from their perspective, at least, not saying like we're the perfect platform for him or anything like that. But normally when we meet these coordinators, it's at the NFL Combine. There's not video of it. It's just like 12 reporters huddled around one guy, and we're all kind of writing the same story. So I think this was kind of a unique way to get to know the Lions offensive coordinator that showed off his personality a little bit more. And based on kind of the reaction from that interview, it seems like people have really kind of clung to him, certainly in a way that maybe they didn't with John Morton.
Yeah, he was loose in that. Again, you guys can go to PrideOfDetroit.com's YouTube channel and check out the full video. I'm going to tell you one thing I liked that he said, and not to just go like the very first thing that you asked him, but I did think it was insightful when you asked him like, hey, like what's your scheme look like? That's obviously something you'd ask in OC. And he said, well, I'm not really like tied to any sort of schematics. I want to see what sort of personnel that the Lions have before I'm ready to answer that. I think it's just an insightful thing that someone's like willing to kind of say, I want to see some practices before I'm just, because I think all of us are, 13 personnel. Sam Laporte, he's the beneficiary of this, where he's kind of like, no, let's start practicing, because I'm a well-versed enough person to know we can be a balanced offense and we can lean on a couple different things.
Yeah, and to me, like it's also one thing to say that, because I think a lot of coaches, even if it's not true, will say something to that effect of like, hey, we're going to be whatever our players are. This is a player-forward scheme, all that sort of thing. But throughout the course of the interview, he mentioned two examples of him actually doing that, right? There was his first year in Arizona where he thought they were going to run a lot of wide zone, a lot of outside zone, and then they got to practice and like they were bad at it. And he's just like, well, we're not going to do that. We're going to do something else. And then obviously last year with all the injuries, they had to change course pretty dramatically from going from a run forward team to the most pass heavy team in the NFL. And so, to see that in his history of not only just saying, hey, we're going to lean into who we've got, but actually going out there and doing it, to me is something that is a little bit more than just like a surface level platitude answer from him.
One thing I liked is how much he liked David Montgomery. It feels like there's been a shift since that end-of-year press conference from Brad Holmes when he, in a way, alluded to, he at the very least alluded to the idea that they're open to the idea of moving on from David Montgomery. And then David has that quote from Media Row during the Super Bowl, and then what Petzing said yesterday. It feels like that's almost shifted to maybe he's a little bit more likely to stay, which I'm all for. If the Lions are chasing a Super Bowl, why get rid of talented players? It's just finding a way to balance them. Obviously, is a little bit harder said than done. But if he loves David Montgomery and David Montgomery's talking about how much he likes this duo, I think I'm just going to work off the assumption he's back in Detroit next season for now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the scales have tipped in the past week and a half here. Where I'm kind of with you. To me, the Lions' appreciation of him has never really been in question. I think the Lions would love to have him back if it's up to them. But, for better or for worse, it seems like they're also willing to work in with the parameters of whatever David Montgomery wants to do right by the player. And you know, the tea leaves were what they were during the season, right? Like he said all the right things in front of the media, but there were cryptic things in social media. You know, just his general attitude, I think, was a little bit more standoffish than in previous years. But then, yeah, once we hear him go public last week saying, you know, they've talked to me, I understand what their vision is, and basically saying, you know, going as far as saying like I'm excited to see what happens, but not quite saying like I'm ready to be back or anything like that. He stopped kind of short of that. But then, yeah, then hearing Petzing yesterday just kind of profess like, hey, he's a valuable player, saying he's a third down back, which I think is an important thing to underline here. He's not just, you know, a guy that you start a game with or a guy that you put in for first and second down or power situations. He's a guy that can really do it all. And so, again, like they are reiterating to the public their the value they place on him. And so to me, it's still just a matter of how much they can convince David Montgomery that he's worth it and that they're going to utilize him enough to make him stay around. But all signs are certainly pointing in a positive direction after these past 2 weeks.
Can I tell you something I didn't love that Petzing said?
Sure.
He said something along the lines of like running the ball comes down to just attitude from your offensive line. I was like, I've heard that one before. I heard that actually a lot last season, that it didn't mean anything for the Lions.
Yeah, I mean that feels like more of a like. I mean, it feels more like a Dan Campbellism, right? Like, you know, we want to be physical, we want to be gritty, and yeah, all of those things are true. But like, I think when we kind of pushed him a little bit on like what you want from an offensive lineman, you know, he talked a little bit more about the details. Like, well, there's this balance between, do you want a guy that can move and get downfield and run all these, you know, pin pull things, or do you want a guy who can just like physically dominate? And I think, you know, he didn't give a direct answer on that. Like, obviously there's a little bit of both, and he kind of went to the platitude of like, you just want the best football player. And that doesn't tell us a whole lot about that. But, you know, I do think there's this kind of old school mentality, and not to say it's out of date or anything, but just like this belief that football eventually, you can scheme all you want, but it eventually is just going to come down to who's the more physical team. And I think that's what he was leaning into, which, again, maybe not very insightful, but is certainly something that probably resonates within the building.
Can we talk a little bit more about the offseason? So you guys had the piece about that graph about the potential restructures. The Lions could create up to $128 million more in cap space this season. I think it's crazy to expect that much. You see that graph, it's like, oh, like, look, they can just free up that much cap space. But for everything that you free up for this offseason can cost you down the road. How much do you expect, though, the Lions to take the biggest example is going to be the Jared Goff one, Amon-Ra, Sewell, also examples. How much do you expect them to free up cap space for this offseason? And you know, Kyle and I have been talking about windows a ton throughout today, and really since the season has ended. I don't really believe in the window, but if they are to be like, hey, we want to create a ton of cap space this offseason, it is in a way creating a little bit of a window, because you're opening it up now just for it to get slammed shut a little bit harder in the future.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right there. The important thing to talk about when we talk about these contract restructures is that you're not clearing cap space, you're moving cap space.
Right.
And you're guaranteeing that cap space too, where a salary is not necessarily guaranteed. Once you turn it into a signing bonus, it is guaranteed. You cannot move it from the contract. You cannot adjust it anymore. It's stuck there, and it'll cost you. It'll cost you down the road. And so I'm with you that if the Lions do some of these restructures, and they have to do some of them, right? They're over the cap at this point. And so, you know, that $128 million figures thrown around, I'd be surprised if it's even half that. I'm thinking more in like the 40 to 50 million range. They can clear up 40 million, you know, just by doing the maximum simple restructure of Jared Goff's contract. And I think that one makes at least some sort of sense because, you know, he is under contract for 2 more years. There's not a high likelihood that he's going anywhere. And you might even add a couple of years to that contract eventually down the road here if he continues to play at a high level. So I think the Lions are going to take a relatively measured approach there just because of everything Brad Holmes has said over the last few years about ensuring that this team has a level of competitiveness every year and stretch that window, if it even exists, as long as possible. Because I'm with you. If you go max restructure here, then yeah, maybe you can take a 1 or 2 year run at a Super Bowl, probably just 1 year run at the Super Bowl. But then you're going to have to pay some seriously big debts, fines, whatever you want to call it, and probably enter a rebuilding mode of at least a couple of years.
I haven't read the latest mock draft roundup yet because we've been doing the show, but in the 4.0 version on the website, it feels like it has shifted a little bit more towards a lot of these mock drafts are projecting a defensive player rather than an offensive lineman. Where did that shift come in? Because after you answer this, I've got a take for you on the defensive line.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I think maybe, when you're taking a national perspective of the Lions, you see a top 5 scoring offense and a bottom 10 scoring defense, and you're probably like, well, they have Aiden Hutchinson, but I don't recognize any of the other names on their defensive line, so maybe we lean into the defense a little bit more. This week, it turned a little bit more balanced. Not surprisingly, it's literally all trenches, offense and defensive line. But I
never
think
got the
most
corners. I never understood that one.
Yeah, the corner one doesn't make sense. Maybe linebacker if you want to do Alex Anzalone, but that's an awful high amount of draft capital when you're already spending a lot on that position. Safety, it's hard to know, but yeah,
I want to talk about safety in a second.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I mean, trenches makes the most sense. I think locally most people are zeroing in on an offensive lineman, but again, like that perspective is going to change, I think, drastically based on what happens in free agency, because we know Brad Holmes isn't going to just leave the offensive line unaddressed going into the draft.
So I think it should be offensive line all the way. I see so many people like they need an edge. They got to. This has been a narrative that you're familiar with. It's been years now.
Sure.
They got to find someone across from Aiden Hutchinson. And I look at what Aiden Hutchinson does with all the pressures that he gets. He leads the league in it. He's had 100 twice now in his career. He was on pace to do it the year he got hurt as well. And I look at the guy that's playing across from him, whether that's been James Houston or Al-Quadin Muhammad last year. It does seem like when you have someone like Hutchinson who's specifically going to get not only the sacks but the pressures as well, whoever's playing across from him is just going to reap some of the benefits of that because he's making the quarterback, under pressure and have to scramble so often. And I think, you saw Al-Quadin Muhammad reap the benefits of that this year. You saw James Houston do it. So I am kind of with Brad Holmes. He gets his fair share of criticism, but I don't think it's that big of a priority for them to find that anchor across from Hutchinson. I think they expect McNeil to be a better version of himself than what we saw this year. I think it's become kind of clear he came back maybe a little bit too early, recovering from the ACL. If you expect him to be that Pro Bowl-ish player, the edge to me, people are so adamant that they have to get a guy across from Hutchinson. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I think whoever that is, just from a scheme perspective, is going to be able to put up a decently high sack volume. And Brad Holmes has kind of figured out who that player should be on a year-to-year basis. It's not that high. I mean, it is a priority, but it's, to be honest, I don't know if it should be ahead of safety.
It's tough, right? Because, you look at some of the pressure numbers, some of the sack numbers, and you'd think the Lions pass rush was actually pretty good last year, but it's the time element of it, right? Where it's taking too long to get there. And I am with you that I think a lot of those problems can be solved with an interior pass rush that the Lions were clearly lacking last year. I don't even know who I would consider their best interior pass rusher last year. Maybe Roy Lopez, which,
Crazy.
He had 13 pressures, I think, all season and a pair of sacks. So, even the return of Levi could potentially help in that aspect, but I'm with you. I think expecting Aleem to take a jump next year is probably what they're thinking. But at the same time, I do think while there's not a lot of teams out there that have a 1-2 elite pass rush at edge, maybe the Texans, I don't know if you could name maybe the Browns at some point. There aren't a lot of teams like that, and it can make a huge difference. And I think you can still. I think the key is I think you can still invest in the edge position more than they have without going full on Max Crosby or even first round draft pick.
Sure.
From what I hear about this draft class, it seems pretty deep at edge. It seems like maybe you can get a contributor, a guy that can hold the edge in the run game and maybe give you a little pass rushing flair as well. But of course, there's been an over obsession about this in Detroit for a few years. It's for whatever, the elixir that's going to fix everything to people when obviously things are a little bit more complicated than that. So I think they need to invest in it, particularly for the long term, just because it would be nice to have that puzzle piece. But I don't think they have to go out and sell the farm for it either.
Now we're going to play my favorite games if I was Brad Holmes. If I was Brett Holmes, I would be taking 2 offensive linemen in the first 2 rounds of the draft. And then you run into the problem of, oh my God, they don't have a 3rd-round pick. If they did have one, I don't think it's crazy to go tackle a safety here or to go try to land a safety here because, again, Brian Branch probably not going to be healthy to start the season. And I know you can't speculate on what's going on with Kirby Joseph, but I just think it's now been, 7 months since the initial training camp reports have come out about, oh, he's got this lingering knee thing. The fact that we've had no diagnosis, that to me is like the scariest part of like what's actually wrong. And no one's been able to answer that since training camp of last year. That to me is the part where it's like, okay, I don't know if his career's done or anything, but is he ever going to be the same player? And again, now it's just like a hypothetical speculation, but it's like, man, they got to prepare for maybe the worst when they're talking about that room.
Yeah, it's really hard to know because I mean the language that Dan and Kirby used around that injury during the season was daunting, right? It was Kirby saying like, what do you do to manage an injury like this or to get better? And Kirby says something to the effect of like, you just deal with it. And Dan says something to the effect of, it doesn't ever go away. You just manage it. And then there's like a report that comes out shortly after it says, this isn't career altering. He's fine. Like, and you're just like, your head's spinning. And now you see people speculate about what they think the diagnosis is. And from the outside, of course I'd love to know, but at the same time, we're going to find out and probably find out based on how they approach the safety position this offseason. If they just, they re-sign Avonte Maddox and they re-sign some of their other depth there, I think Thomas Harper was doing some good things there. Then it probably looks like, they're going to try to manage the first month of the season without Brian Branch, and then maybe they'll be fine with Kirby Joseph. If they go out there and spend a day 1 or day 2 draft pick on the safety, then that probably adds to speculation that it's not great news for Kirby. If they go out there and draft and sign a starting safety in free agency, that's probably not good news either. But the one thing that I think their action will be quite telling because I don't think this is a team that is just going to get by with average safety play. That's a position that they value probably more than other teams defensively. We saw them run some 3 safety sets back in the day when they had a ton of talent at that position. And so they aren't going to just be like, we'll play it by ear. I think they're, if they aren't confident in Kirby Joseph's future, they're going to go out there and make sure that they're covered for him.
Yeah, in theory, with the skill set that Brian Branch brings to the table and like what you see the Ravens doing with Hamilton and the Seahawks doing with Eamon Warrior, like I would love more 3 safety sets, but like it's just kind of now a matter of, well, are they even going to have their 2 starting safeties to start out week 1 next year? So
yeah, no one's talked about Kirby Joseph more than Ben this offseason. So
I think that actually might be true. What are your expectations for free agency here? Do you think they get aggressive in spending by freeing up cap space? Are they aggressive with addressing the center position? Like what do you kind of think the Lions are going to do once free agency starts? A month from 2 days ago, about
something like that. Yeah, about a month from now. I expect like the big splashy $120 million contract move? No, but I do expect them to be somewhat active. I would not be surprised to see like 5 to 7 mid-range deals done this offseason because they have so many needs. Because like I continue to say every offseason, Brad Holmes makes it pretty clear that he doesn't want to draft for need. He wants to make sure he fills all those needs in free agency. And so I think that means getting a center that they're comfortable with. It probably means getting a starting capable tackle, whether that's a 1 or 2 year Band-Aid or maybe going for it for the long-term feed, depending on obviously what happens with Taylor Decker. I think it might mean getting a linebacker, whether that's re-signing Alex Anzalone or going somewhere else. I think it might be an edge thrown in there as well. And then as we were talking about, I think safety has to be in that conversation as well, maybe even a tight end. So like that alone is 5 or 6 positions where there might be a starting or like a highly contributing job that's available to this team. And I don't expect the Lions to be silent and just assume they can fill one of those positions in the draft. It's not a good way to approach the draft. It probably means you'd have to get super aggressive to make sure that you get the guys you want, and you're already missing a 3rd round pick. So I think this team is probably I would not be surprised to see them target 5 or 6 external guys that will be expected to, if not start, play a significant role in this team in 2026.
Jeremy Reisman, prideofdetroit.com. I got one more thing for you. we've all seen the numbers of like, hey, if they were to cut Taylor Decker, here's how much money they could save. And I don't ultimately think the Lions will do that to him, being the longest tenured player on the team and everything. I do, however, think it probably is just time to move on from him. I think the Lions don't plan on drafting this high again. I wouldn't if I were them. And there's potentially some tackles here at 17, or you could get a little aggressive and try to move up a few spots to take one of these guys, whether it's one of the Utah guys or doesn't really feel like the Miami guy is going to be there at 17. But I think in the first round, it's not rare that they miss, but you're way more likely to find your franchise guy in the first round than you are in the second or third or fourth or free agency for that matter, because you don't just let offensive tackles walk. I think it's just time to move on from Taylor Decker, I think is where I've landed on this offseason, whether he wants to retire or not. I think it's just a chapter that might be over. We need to fix the offensive line. That's obviously like everyone's number one, how do the Lions get back into Super Bowl contention? It's fixing the offensive line. I don't think they need to hang on to something from the past, a couple years. Like, it's time to move forward, not hang on to the past. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Unfortunately, that's the tough part of this business is if I'm Brad Holmes, I think it just might be time.
It's an interesting idea, and I do think maybe just the retirement happens at a I wouldn't say good time, because obviously the Lions have some other needs, and maybe good time would have been after the Lions drafted his replacement. But I do think of teams like the Green Bay Packers who tend to move on from an offensive lineman like the year before they decline, and just like seem to refill that room pretty well year to year. Cutting David Bakhtiari was probably not an easy decision for them, but given all of his injuries and age, like that turned out to be the right move for them. So I get it. The thing that I can't, the thing there where I push back just a little bit is, one, I think Taylor Decker is still playing at a pretty darn high level. Not elite, but good, and good left tackles are hard to come by. As you just said, like drafting, free agency, there's rare opportunities to get those players. And I'm a little wary of moving too many parts on the offensive line in one offseason, right? We even saw it last year with all the shakeups on the interior offensive line. Well, now if you're getting a new center and a left tackle, and you still have some other young players on that, if you draft a left tackle, well, suddenly you have a first-year left tackle, a second-year center or guard, a third-year guard on the other side. It's just a lot of new young faces, and to expect them to hit the ground running, which I think we all really want from this team that has their window open. Going young and inexperienced so much on that offensive line screams to me like you might go through a lot of the building issues that they went through last year, a lot of the learning experiences, a lot of the mistakes, especially early in the year. So to me, if Taylor Decker wants to come back, I think you should open the door for him, but that shouldn't prevent you from potentially drafting his replacement either. Like if you are there and there is that guy at 17 or a couple picks earlier and you want to go get him, because there's nothing wrong with being a little preventative with the offensive line. There's nothing wrong with, if you have to have a first round pick sit on the bench for a year and potentially step in case Decker or Sewell gets injured, like that's okay with me, because you're protecting yourself long term, and that's just as important.
Jeremy Reisman, congrats again on getting Drew Petzing. That was cool to see. Nice video up on your guys' YouTube feed. How can people go watch that?
Yeah, you can either go to our website, prideofdetroit.com, and search for the article that links to it, or like you said, youtube.com/prideofdetroit. It'll be right there at the top of the list for you to watch. 30 minutes. It's really good, and it's a very fun guy to hear talk football.
He showed some personality. He wasn't boring the way that last offensive coordinator hire seemed to be a little bit of. All right, Reisman, hopefully we can check back in around free agency time.
Sounds good, Ben.
All right. Talk to you later. Again, Ben Bosscher Show live here, 11 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Yiter Insurance. Life happens fast, and at Yiter Insurance Group, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. They want to work personally with you to create something best suited for your needs, whether that's home or auto or life insurance. They're right here, covered every step of the way. They make insurance simple, expert advice, real people you can actually talk to. That's Yiter Insurance Group. We'll be there when you need us since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on On 100.9 The Mitt.
Okay, welcome back into the show, everybody. Kyle Sandel, your time to shine. Take it away with the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
Yep, we're back into the news. Let's do it. First things first, Ben. We've been getting an inkling of this for a while here. Is Derek Carr about to come out of retirement? We've been seeing
What
this. Ian
team would it
Rappaport
work
tweeted it
with?
again this morning. That's what I was going to ask you. What team would it be?
I think it'd be Minnesota. Right? Like, that's like the obvious, the way that these tweets are worded. The most
The
obvious
right situation, it always says.
right
yeah.
situation, high-level coaching staff, want like a place he can win. Yeah, this is Minnesota. You go play for Kevin O'Connell with a good defense. You can replace J.J. McCarthy. I think this is like essentially like what other team is there? Or is it Atlanta?
I was kind of thinking Atlanta, right? I mean,
Atlanta might be the one.
I think Carr's probably still better than Kirk Cousins, right? Like right now,
I don't know.
in the current day of 2026.
He just missed an entire season.
Carr
I don't
also
know.
did have like the injury that essentially was like, yeah, I can't even really move anymore.
Yeah, when he tried to hurdle someone.
Right. And then he was just done for.
That that might be the dumbest thing I've ever seen a quarterback try to do. When he
Oh.
tried to leap over someone on this, one step away from out of bounds. Could have just like stepped out of bounds and the play would have been over. And he's like, no, I want to fight to get this extra yard. You're not even trying to get a first down, by the way. Tries to leap over a dude, just gets decimated, lands on his shoulder, hasn't played since. One of the dumber decisions I've ever seen a quarterback
So you had to
have.
pick right now, Miami, Atlanta, or Minnesota.
Not Miami.
Not Miami.
Probably Atlanta because it's a more winnable division, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Going against the Saints, though, man, it'd be tough. Saints legend, Derek Carr, you know?
So, well.
All right, we started off the show talking about Trinidad Chambliss and the NCAA just being, stupid. Well, we got the Big Ten being stupid this time around. They are talking about a 24-team college football playoff that includes no
God.
conference championships. Just get rid of them.
Yeah,
we don't even want them anymore.
Great
This
idea.
format would be a 23. The top 23 teams get in plus one. So I would assume the plus one means like
A group of
there's one, but if there's no conference championships, then how do we just the best group of 5 team? Is that the plus one here?
This might be the dumbest idea I've heard yet. 24 teams and no conference champion. What are we doing? What is it? This is a new season starting. What the hell are the point of the first 12 weeks if we're going to do a 24-team playoff with no conference champions crowned? The first 12 weeks of the season is essentially a play-in to this ginormous March Madness tournament.
It's just so many more football games.
It doesn't make any sense.
And then we're going to still have the transfer portal open during week 2 of this playoff. Like that's going to be you want the season to be
Dumbest
even
idea
longer?
I've ever
We're trying to
heard.
figure out a way to end the season on New Year's. That's what everyone wants. No, like Dan Lanning is a coach in the Big Ten, and he laid out essentially like what every fan wants as far as the format of how everything should go. And yet the Big Ten is like, nah, we don't want to do that. And what everyone's got to remember is the College Football Playoff Committee or whatever coming to an agreement that the playoff is going to be the same this year. It wasn't an agreement. It was as simple as, both teams wanted it to go to 16 games. They both wanted it to be a 16-team playoff, not games, teams. But the Big Ten only wanted to do it if they could move to 24 the next year. And the SEC
stupid,
was like,
man.
nah.
So dumb.
So then they couldn't come to an agreement, and they had to keep it as the 12-team playoff as it is right now.
You win 3 national titles in a row, and you start acting ridiculous. Calm down, Tony Petiti. Calm down.
It's so funny that it's just the college football playoff committee. It's just the Big Ten and SEC figuring it out.
It's Tony Petiti and Greg Sankey.
Yeah.
That is literally who it is.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, man.
Morons.
Yeah, let's move to college. Actually, no, let's do this baseball thing because this is kind of funny, I guess. I don't know. We talked about Nick Castellanos the other day about how the Phillies were wanting to release him. Well, they finally did. And one of the big stories coming out about this is that apparently last year during a game, Nick Castellanos brought a beer in the dugout and was drinking a beer during the game that he had gotten pulled out of. Yeah.
I when I saw that he had been released, I was like, oh, Tigers?
We bring him whole band back together? Like,
yeah. And then I saw this, I was like, I'm probably good.
are we still probably good though? Like, is it maybe
Is
like
this
a
a
bring
buy
it,
low
is it like
situation?
right? Is it like a bring him into spring training? Like, if we think he's good enough to make the roster, then sure.
This is like a come to rehab, come to the Tigers. Be with all these useful guys
Right.
who don't even want beer anywhere.
The only issue
Actually,
with
that's not
Castellanos
true. I
is
think
like
Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson.
I was about to
really
say
like beer.
it's all those guys. I mean, like, yeah. But anyways, Castellanos is just kind of like a DH now, you know. So kind of runs into an issue with Kerry Carpenter, but he could just be an off the bench bat, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Let us know if you want the Tigers to bring back Castellanos. NBA news. Jeremy Sohan is released by the Spurs. He's signing with the New York Knicks, former top 10 overall pick. He's the guy that always has the different colored hair. He's going to be on the Knicks now. So that's pretty cool.
That's fantastic.
Dylan Brooks is getting a 1-game ban after picking up his 16th technical foul. It is the All-Star break, and Dylan Brooks has 16 techs. I mean, how many games are we into the year? 50? That's ridiculous to have
a little more than 50.
16 technical fouls at this point in the season. It's an absurd amount. 55 games the Suns have played, so that's like nearly every 3.5 games you're picking up a tech.
It's like his bit. It's a bit at this point, you know? I'm not
It absolutely
he
is
pisses
a
me
bit.
off. I did not like when the Pistons played him either time.
No,
at all.
But he also went off in both of those games. So Gary is fine with maybe bringing in Castellanos. Pizza Man does not want Castellanos. So thank you for the feedback there. Last night for OKC in their loss, which gave the Pistons the best record in the NBA heading into the All-Star break. A pretty cool story happens in that game, though. Nikola Topic, who was a late lottery pick a few years back for OKC, got injured and then was diagnosed with testicular cancer, I think last year, early in 2025. Made his NBA debut last night for OKC. Pretty cool, man. It's been a long road for him. He was dealing with, I think, an ACL or one of those types of injuries as a rookie. Didn't play. And then, obviously, a cancer diagnosis. Just terrible. But he's fought through it and made his debut last night, which was pretty cool to see.
Always good. I like those type of stories.
Yeah.
They make me smile, you know?
Buddy Boeheim was playing for the Thunder last night, too, by the way. I don't know if you saw
That's
that.
insane.
Pistons legend, maybe?
No.
No?
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, okay.
Seems like a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, his dad killed him, man. Anyways, North Carolina
What?
hoop
Wait,
star.
no. What? Jim Boeheim?
Jim Boeheim, yeah.
What do you mean?
Like manslaughter, like when he was coaching Syracuse. Yeah.
How?
I think it was with the car, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I know.
This isn't like a Brian
yeah,
Kelly
I
situation.
shouldn't be making a joke about this, but it kind of is. Okay, anyways, North Carolina star freshman Caleb Wilson, he's out with a fractured hand. This is pretty big news because UNC has been picking up steam. They did get upset by Miami earlier this week, but Caleb Wilson's kind of the consensus 4th overall pick in the NBA draft right now with that elite top 3, but he's right on the outside looking in, so fractured hand is going to keep him out for some time. Tough news for the Tar Heels. Last thing in the news. Sorry, you're giving me a confused look.
No, I'm listening.
Okay. Last thing in the news. Cade Cunningham to become a minority owner of the Texas Rangers. Oh, all right.
This is like the 1% of Cade Cunningham that I'm not a fan of. That he loves all these Texas teams.
I heavily disagree. I like that he roots for the teams where he's from, you know?
That's fair.
That shows that he's like a true sports fan. Like, oh, I'm still a Rangers fan. I'm still a Cowboys fan. Yeah, do I like those teams? Hell no. But it shows that he's like a loyal fan, and I like that.
You know what? That's actually a fair analysis on this entire situation. I'm fine with that.
Cool.
Uh,
That's all I got.
Okay. Well, when we come back, we'll do our two traditions to close out every single show. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mitt. 11 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by our friends over at Yiter Insurance. Hey, winters can be freezing here in Michigan. They can last. They can be brutal. The one thing you don't want to happen is your furnace to quit on you when it's freezing outside. That's where Answer Heating and Cooling comes in. They get your furnaces running efficiently so you can go home and stay warm. You don't end up wearing 3 sweatshirts, a pair of sweatpants, and winter gloves while you're watching the TV. Nobody wants that. Fast, professional, reliable Answer Heating and Cooling keeps Midland homes cozy all winter long.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky's. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, we got two traditions to close out every show. The first of those traditions resides in something I like to call the lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Oh, thank you to LeBron James for hitting 2 threes last night en route to a triple-double, which means what's our record now this week in Lock of the Day?
Well, this week in Lock of the Day, it's looking pretty good for you right now, Ben, because you are up right now 1.96 units on the week.
Now that I know that, I should have gone a little bit more aggressive today. I really should have.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely could have. But you didn't. Sorry, you're 1.96 units up in the month. That was my fault. You're 0.14 units up on the week.
Oh, so then
you do.
I'm
Yeah,
fine.
you're 2-2 right now. So you kind of have to hit today. Today is
To
a
go positive.
win the week or lose the week. You have won 4 weeks in a row after losing the first week of 2026. You've won 4 in a row. So this is a big one for you. You're also 3.7 units up in the big year of 2026. What's the plan for today?
Not a lot of options. Really not a lot of options.
Well, you don't want to pick Miami, Ohio, who's on linear ESPN tonight, by the way?
That's good use of the word linear. No, I'm not going to pick them. No NBA, no NHL on tonight, no football or anything like that. Got to go to college basketball. Not a ton of options. You know who is in action tonight, though? The Michigan State Spartans, who are taking on Wisconsin on the road. Vegas does not like Michigan State, man. They really don't. Whether it's futures odds to win the Big Ten or just point spreads, they do not mess with Michigan State. Why is that?
Like, specifically based off this spread tonight, you're saying?
Based on this spread, they're 1.5-point favorites, and
I don't
every
think
time
that's
you and I
crazy.
pull up the Big Ten odds, it's like, why is this team so much further behind Nebraska and and Illinois, a team they beat? They are way far behind
Yeah.
them to win the Big Ten. It's so weird.
That's the future stuff definitely is probably just having the fact that they play Michigan and Purdue to end the year. Like, I would guess that has to do with it, but like,
But it's been like that the whole season,
right.
just
yeah,
way
it has
behind
been.
everybody
yeah,
else.
and they won the league last year, So I like you said, I don't really understand. But as far as tonight's spread goes, like,
They won the regular season, yeah.
which is winning the Big Ten, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, because then you have to add some extra word when it's the other thing that you were going to bring up, right?
The championship?
No, they won the Big Ten tournament, yeah, which is a completely separate thing than just winning the conference.
Yeah, it's a bigger accomplishment.
I
win
mean,
the
just
tournament.
not at all. 20 whole games compared to 4, So
The Lions were the 1 seed. Would that win them? Or did we hang a banner for that?
yeah, they hung actually the NFC North banner, correct?
Yeah. No, you're right.
right? No,
you
I
are
did
right about that.
Am I right about that? Yeah, that's what I
Correct.
thought. Okay. Anyways, what I was gonna say is Wisconsin has definitely been playing a lot better down the stretch. Like they. Obviously, they have 2 of the best wins of the year. Like, they beat Michigan, which is obviously crazy, and then they went at Illinois last week and won. So, like, they have 2 awesome wins. They're kind of a fringe bubble team right now, but they should end up making the tournament unless they lose a couple of these big games. So, I don't think the 1.5-point spread here at Wisconsin is definitely that crazy.
I mean, Michigan State's a top 10 team. I think like I don't know. You're going against an unranked team.
I mean, they literally just beat Illinois, who was a top 10 team, like 3 days ago.
So did Michigan State.
Sure.
I don't know. It just seems a little.
They're
like,
on the road. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's that crazy.
Well, are you willing to tail me in their 1.5 point
duh.
spread?
Yeah, I mean, of course I would. If this was 8.5, I'd still tail, but I don't know.
You're just the Sparty at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, of course. I'm pretty biased, so yeah.
Okay. I'm taking Michigan State to win tonight. I think the defense gets it done on the road. Defense travels in college basketball. We'll see if Wisconsin can make enough of their shots against Michigan. They were just torching from the outside. As long as that doesn't happen, I feel like that Michigan State should be fine. And they play pretty good defense on the perimeter. So I've got confidence in Tom Izzo's Spartans. I think they're also aware of the situation they're in, where they can't really afford to lose another game.
Yeah.
Especially
one of these ones.
One of these ones where it's against an unranked team. I would imagine this is still a quad 1 win if they win this. They can't, like, if they lose another one, they're out of Big Ten title contention, and they're probably like it becomes kind of difficult to become a 2 seed if they lose another game the rest of the way.
Totally. And it becomes difficult to be a 3 seed probably.
Really, you think so? Top 12? Yeah,
Just
you know,
because
you're probably
just
right.
because of the schedule you have left to play. You know, like you really can't lose to these non-top 15 teams that you have.
Yeah, you lose this, you're in danger of being a 4 seed, I would say. Okay, fair analysis. I've got Michigan State by 1.5 tonight as my lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Valentine's Day tomorrow, Kyle.
It is Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
What are you insinuating, Ben?
I don't know. I just said that and figured you would have something to say.
Yeah. What's the first sports thing you think about when you think about Valentine's Day?
Sports thing?
Yeah, I mean, this is a sports show, is it not?
Um,
I've got one.
I think of 2K when you play your entire season through, when you're doing a my team or my league, and you'd play all 82 games, and sometimes you'd have a game on Valentine's Day, and the graphics at the bottom would be cool because they'd have hearts on them. One time, you want to hear something crazy?
That's the first thing that you think about.
Well, when I think of sports, yeah. One time I played, this was probably 2K. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember what 2K it was, but I played all 82 games of regular season. I had Kemba Walker, Luke Kennard, Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, and Brandon Ingram. That was my team as the Pistons. I played all 82 games, 12-minute quarters. This took an entire summer. I get all the way to Game 7 of the NBA Finals against Golden State. I've played every game, so I've probably played 100 games. I lost Game 7.
No.
I thought about never turning my Xbox on again. Think about how much time that was. 12-minute quarters. Every game took like an hour.
It's terrible.
82 games.
Trust me, I love an offline gamer, but that's a little
It was insane. I know.
insane, yeah.
And then I lost. And then I lost in Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
So instead of thinking about
Golden State,
little hearts on the screen in a video game, I think about when Denzel Valentine hit the buzzer beater on Valentine's Day against Ohio State, man. Like, how cool is that?
written in the stars.
Mr. Valentine did it.
Whatever happened to him?
Oh, my God, Valentine.
Whatever happened to him?
I think he raps now.
That
I think
adds
you
up.
could say that about a lot of NBA players. I know he played overseas for a little bit, but I'm pretty sure he's a rapper now.
I think
but
Beef Stew raps a little.
he does the reggae music.
Oh, who am I thinking of? There's a Detroit athlete that does a little. Taron Arnold does a little rapping. Maybe he should do a little less of that, a little less podcasting, a little
Okay.
more watching
How
film.
did this turn into Terry and Arnold? Let's do guessing Collins. Well, it is Valentine's Day tomorrow. You got any big plans or no?
I will be the same place you are, McGurk Arena,
Correct.
for most of the day.
Yeah, I did know that. You gonna wear pink or
I don't think.
red? I guess red also works.
Who do they play tomorrow?
Play NIU. That's a red team.
You can't wear
Can't
red.
wear red. Yeah, that's kind of messed up. Why would they schedule that like that, man?
I don't think I own anything pink. I own few things that are red. I have a lot of neutral colors: grays, blacks, whites.
Right, because
That's
orange.
the majority of
just
my
screw
wardrobe.
you if you wear orange.
That's not what I said.
And
That's
then
not what I said.
pink,
I
he's
never
out
said
on
anything
pink
like
now
that.
too.
No, I just don't have anything of those colors. I'm not out on people who wear orange. I like orange. I think it's a nice color to the eye. I just don't have a lot of things that are orange. That's all.
Okay. How about we guess Collins Open?
Sure.
44-37 is the score. Ben is leading, and it's Ben's turn. Actually, let me double check. I think it's your turn to go first. No, it's my turn to go first. No one got a point yesterday because, of course, he led with the Pittsburgh Steelers. When we made a joke about it,
Right.
like, oh, no way he picks the Steelers. Yeah, he did. So it's my turn to go first today. I think today is finally when he goes to LeBron James and triple-double Lakers, like LeBron. You know, triple-double, that's cool. That's going to be my pick. So it's going to be talking about LeBron.
I'm going with Woody Johnson and the Jets.
Did something happen? Or you're just picking that?
ESPN reported that in November, the Jets owner, Woody Johnson, who called the report cards total bogus, is the one behind it getting stops. Johnson received an F grade from his players, and now the report cards are gone. So I think this is a lead regarding the NFL report cards being now private. No longer public report cards.
And then he kind of just uses it as a way to talk about, like, the Jets' bad team, bad franchise,
Yes.
bad owner kind of thing.
Yes.
I don't mind that. If he doesn't talk about LeBron today, I'm going to be mad, though.
Yeah, talk about LeBron.
Yeah. LeBron!
That's me when I turn on Bilson. Talk about the Pistons. Somebody talk about the Pistons. There's a lot to talk about the Pistons. But that's next week. We're in the All-Star break. And our fixes to the All-Star break were a bracket-style three-point contest. Use both sides of the court, people going at the same time. Go to like you got to make 25 threes. Our fixed to the dunk contest was a one-on-one with the other team. Like you basically wager your entire salary for the rest of the season. And then the NBA All-Star game, I said put home court advantage back on the line. It never was, but steal it from baseball. Just do it.
I just don't know. Like, usually I'm always locked into Saturday night, All-Star weekend. I don't know how much I'm going to be this year, man.
Oh, there's nothing else on. You're going to watch it.
Is there really there's no college games on? Like, no good ones?
Not that I know of, and usually I feel like I would know if there was big-time college basketball games coming up, you know? I feel like you're just going to end up watching this for sure.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. We'll be back on Monday, 9 o'clock. Be there or be square. Like and subscribe if you have not already. On the YouTube side of things, this is the Ben Bosscher Show live on Instagram. No, not live on Instagram, but we have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
The Ben Bosscher